We stood in the past Zeno-sama, and it would completely shake. Zeno-sama released a bit of his power. My lord, what are you about to do? A mortal can't count on a title like that. You can't even choose a candidate of one of the gods, much better one of the angels, but not a mortal.
Daishenkin, I already told you, Goku will be the new supreme god. After the demonstration of his power in the exhibition tournament and in the tournament of power, I'm sure this isn't a discussion. You are only here to obey my orders. Daishenkin was angry, knowing that he didn't have the power to do something against his guardians, and would bow. Understand, Lord, I'm sorry, it's just my small point of view. I understand if you want Goku to be the new supreme god. I'll accept it. When I ask for your point of view, you can give it to me. Otherwise, you better save your comments. I want you to be Goku's teacher so that the power increases amazingly. You understand?
Of course, my lord. I'll personally take care of training Lord Goku to become a powerful warrior. Don't worry. Returning to the planet of Beerus, we could see a great aura rising over the planet. Goku was able to master all of the Ultra Instinct, being able to access the state at will. Wow, I'm amazed at the ease in which you're able to master Ultra Instinct. Apparently, it's been able to master it to 100%, by which he'll be able to have the Ultra Instinct even as his new base state if he so wishes.
Thanks very much, Whis, but this is thanks to you. No matter how hard I try, I don't have any of your knowledge. Your knowledge helps me reach a new level, and I appreciate it.
Oh, don't worry, Mr. Goku. Since you've been trying too hard, I've got to confess. It is said that the Super Saiyan 4, a transformation which is the destructive power, explodes. I don't know if you can combine the Super Saiyan 4 with your divine power.
Super Saiyan 4? I've never heard of this transformation. That's incredible. Of course I want to access it later to combine it with my divine energy. I'm sure I'll become more powerful.
In that case, it seems that we can start training that'll allow you to access Super Saiyan 4, and since it is a primitive transformation. Whis, with the help of his staff, would make Goku's tail grow back. Thanks to Goku, he would start his rigorous training mainly of meditation. You must control your mortal energy in the same way, 100%, as it will be useful for you to master your Ozaru state. Because you have not been able to master your tail like ordinary Saiyans, you must master your mortal energy 100%.
I understand. I'll continue meditating and become more powerful. I know I can achieve it. Don't worry.
Meanwhile, in a faraway place in the Divine Kingdom, the angels gathered because Daishenkin requested an emergency meeting.
What happened? Our father has never informed us of an emergency meeting, and for him to do this without warning means something serious is happening.
Maybe you're right, Vados. Maybe it's something truly informative. Since it won't always be bad news, you gotta have a little more faith, because if you continue with such negative mentality, you won't attract anything positive in your life.
Our brother Vados is right. The angels that you know called the most powerful angel among the 12. You gotta have to see it in a different way.
Instantly, a great portal would be around them where Daishenkin would emerge. Thank you, angels, for coming. This is the most important thing to me, and I want you to know that what I'm doing in the future, I would like the support of all my children.
But Father, if you want to have all of our support, you gotta wait for Whis, because otherwise you'd have to repeat everything again.
Vados, don't worry. Whis will not be notified of this meeting. His character is influenced by mortals. His neutral temperament's disappeared, so we have nothing to talk about in this meeting. And it can go out to the gods, and at least to all the... I understand, Father, so you can inform us what you will do without any problem, since none of us will say anything about it. Continue. Thank you, son. I continue. I'm tired of serving under Zeno. We angels are supposed to be the most powerful race of the 12 universes, even the whole cosmos. Why can't we be rulers? I'm about to overthrow Zeno, and I'd like to count on your support. Murmurs among the angels were evident, because they were not prepared to receive such news. Daishenkin would then break the silence. I'm sure all of you are wondering the reason why I reveal myself. It's the useless Zeno. I want to grant the position of Supreme God to the mortal's son Goku, a simple mortal. I would understand offering it to a god or even an angel, but a mortal? If we continue with this mandate, I'm sure it'll lead to ruin of the 12 universes.
I understand your viewpoint, Father, and I know that I'm governed by the probabilities, so ask for your plan to follow. Even since our support will not be able to do anything against the guardians of Zeno-sama, much less if Zeno-sama is able to access his combat form.
First thing I have to think of is ending Son Goku's life or steal him from eternity in the demonic kingdom. It's said that the fourth prince of hell hates the Saiyans, since it is said that he defeated the power of the original Saiyan.
I understand, Father, and I know that you'll have our support. If you continue to create our dynasty, of course we'll be with you. The race of angels will rise up over the 12 universes, and we will no longer be servants to the gods and kings. We will be rulers.
That'll be the first step of the new dynasty. I want to create my next step, and that'd be to end the life of the guardians of Zeno-sama. And for that we'll need...
At that moment, Daishinkan's staff would sound, because Zeno-sama requested his presence in the palace, and Daishinkan would sigh.
Useless Zeno's requested my presence, so I'm retiring, children. In a few days, I'll give you details of the new dynasty we'll form.
Daishinkan would leave the palace of Zeno-sama just as each angel would leave for their universe. In Zeno-sama's kingdom, Daishinkan would arrive, being able to greet an angry Zeno-sama who was preparing everything to leave with his guardians in search of Daishinkan. What the hell's gotten into you, Daishinkan? You weren't able to respond to my call, and I was able to get out to search for you. This situation better not happen again.
I apologize, Lord. I had to solve a few issues that was pending. That's why I was able to leave the palace. We are not interested in your excuses, priest. Haven't you listened to the great Zeno-sama? If he asks for you to be in a minute, you better be here earlier. Do you understand, you trash?
Daishinkan would duck his head while asking for an apology to Zeno-sama and his guardians.
It's very close to finishing with all you damn good-for-nothing worms. I'll rejoice while you beg for me for your lives. Oh, I swear I'll make you suffer.
I've been thinking about everything you told me, Daishinkan, and this time I want us to hold an elimination tournament for all the gods and mortals. Since this will be placed on multiple planets, they'll have the key to win the magical chest to get out, and victorious team will be able to choose the new supreme god. I'm sure Son Goku from Universe 7 will win, and you'll be convinced.
I understand, Lord, but I understand correctly that this occasion the gods of destruction will also participate? Why should the gods participate, Lord?
Because there are even mortals who compare themselves to the power of the gods, while others do not have that power. To make everything equal, even their gods will have the benefit of participating in the elimination tournament.
I understand. In that case, how much time do I have to inform the gods of the new elimination tournament, or do you prefer to call the tournament to find the supreme god?
That name doesn't sound bad, but don't give the slightest details to the gods. Just inform them of a new tournament in which they'll also participate, and I want this tournament to take place in 2 months so that they have time to train.
I understand. In that case, I'll go do my duty.
Returning to the planet of Beerus, all the time with Whis' staff, they managed to make Goku master his tail in the best possible time. And Goku would access this new transformation, making the whole planet of Beerus shake. However, it was an amazing power, and it didn't compare to the power of the divine transformations. This power runs through my body is amazing, but definitely the Ultra Instinct's more powerful than this. It has served me to master my internal energy. Mr. Goku, you better take a break, because you've been training hard for several consecutive months. You know better than anyone if you don't have good rest, training can be double-edged, so please try to rest. Heh, of course! This time, I'll plan to return to Earth for a few months to spend with my wife and kids, and I also want to see how the crops are going. I promise when I sow, I'll bring you a great feast. Ho ho! That does interest me, Goku, and it'd be a pleasure to taste your harvest. Goku would return to his base state, putting his fingers on his forehead and teleporting. Heh, I thank you for your training. I gotta go to Earth. Goku would disappear from the place, returning back on Earth, arriving with his wife and kids, having a great banquet because they hadn't seen their father in a few months. Goku, while enjoying his family, didn't know that there'd be the last days of peace and calm that they have, because Daishinkan would inform each and every one of the destroying gods of the new tournament, and the great Zeno-sama would hold in about 2 months.
Vados and Mojito, I want you to join me. We have to eradicate Son Goku, but if we end his life for no reason, it'd be suspicious. We have to find the perfect opening.
I understand, Father. In that case, you should wait for the perfect moment. If we attack him right now, some relative of Son Goku could discover us. Although I hate to admit it, I agree with Vados. It's best, Father. The next day, Goku with his vegetable field, under a big sun, would think about the transformation to Super Saiyan 4. Before taking time with the fam, I want to master Super Saiyan 4 100%. Since I only am able to achieve that transformation, I haven't been able to control the wear of its energy. Goku would quickly put on his training clothes, heading towards the Holy Temple with the intention of training in the room time. But Goku, without noticing, was being stalked by the High Priest and his 2 children. But Father, how do you intend on killing him? Or do you plan on sending him to the Infernal Realm, specifically with the fourth Prince of Hell?
That's what I'm looking forward to. I want to end that miserable mortal because it's his damn fault that Whis stopped being neutral, and Zeno-sama, I want him to be the new supreme god. I want him to suffer for all eternity.
Goku's energy would disappear, leaving the trio of angels surprised, who didn't know what happened. Since she was the smartest angel of all, she began to analyze everything and notice the room of time. Well, I didn't expect this. A mortal Son Goku accessing another dimension, with this intention of having better results in a shorter time. But I'm surprised there's such a room of this insignificant planet.
Well, apparently I won't be sending Goku to the Kingdom of Demons. But this time it'll be more satisfying. I'm going to seal him in that room and wait for me. I'll personally take care of him.
In the time room, Goku was standing observing the place, preparing to start his last training. He would feel his presence in this place, and the sky portal would form and a great pressure would fall into place. But if you're Daishaken, what are you doing here? You want to train with me?
Because of your guilt of the useless Zeno-sama is changing everything for millions of years that it took me to build. So I, the High Priest, grants you the curse of immortality. You'll also be sealed in this dimension of my own power.
Hundreds of chains of energies were added to the dimension. While Daishaken left the place, Goku in the room of time, just as he manipulated the own dimension of the time, passes much faster, and so Son Goku's agony would be even more. This is the first step complete. We require the Super Dragon Balls to be able to bring to life the guy who called Black Goku to impersonate him. Daishaken would manage to completely seal the dimension of the time room, forming a dimensional clock in the room, and Goku's agony would be stronger. Knowing he was sealed, Daishaken disappeared. Goku would try to leave because he thought it was a bad joke. What happened, Daishaken? I haven't done anything to try to betray me. I was trying to bring the 12 universes of the Tournament of Power to life. Goku, when trying to leave, his face would go from joy to terror to anger. His door of dimension had completely disappeared. Goku released his power. As amazing as it was, he managed to do nothing. No, this can't be happening! I know that I have to be able to get out of this dimension by expelling my power. And since it's the thing that Gotenks in Super Saiyan 3 did, he was able to create a dimensional porter. I gotta count on my divine energy. Goku would access Super Saiyan Blue Max power, clenching his fists. This amazing power, though it was not able to create any cracks in the room, surprising him and frustrating him, because this power is greater than that of Super Saiyan 3. Damn, how can I not open a portal to the outside? My divine energy is more powerful than mortal, but I'll try my mortal energy. I don't got plans to stay here. Goku at this moment, in his base state, accessed his transformations with the intention of creating a small portal to leave the place. No matter how great his efforts were, he couldn't succeed. In the instant Goku accessed Super Saiyan 3, everything around him changed drastically. He wasn't able to create a dimensional crack. I've got one more transformation. I'm planning to use everything I've got. Daishaken, grant me immortality. I want to check if it's real, because if I die, I'll be able to get out of this damn place. Goku at the moment surpassed his limits, getting to Super Saiyan 4. He wouldn't stay there, and it was overloading his body, but after a few minutes, a huge explosion was created, and his body had exploded into hundreds of pieces in the time room. Outside, Daishaken with his two children got the Dragon Balls. Father, this is the furthest place of all the 12 universes, because on this planet, my brother Vados trains, and we could summon Zama without a problem. My brother is right, Father. This is the farthest place. Closest place is even another multiverse, if it existed. What Vados didn't know was, indeed, beings from other multiverses were staring at them, studying what happened to Zeno-sama's multiverse.
That seems perfect. We'll continue to the second step with our rebellion, which is to bring Black Goku to life. He'll impersonate Son Goku, and he'll bring us all kinds of information about Beerus and Whis. Daishaken would invoke Zama, managing to make his wish, and Zama, with great power, would make Black Goku appear in front of them, finding him very confused. What happened? How am I alive? I was eliminated by Zeno-sama, and I managed to merge with Zamasu. What are you guys doing here? Daishaken, without saying something, pressure would fall on Black's body, breaking several of his bones. We've been able to bring you to life, so you better collaborate. Otherwise, I'll end your life with a snap of my fingers.
I understand. Please, release your pressure. I feel my body being destroyed. I know what happened, but I swear I'll give you my loyalty.
Daishinkan would release his pressure and would heal each of his wounds. I've come to a point with you. I want you to pretend to be Son Goku, and since we betrayed and sealed him in an alternate dimension, he won't be able to leave. If you refuse, I'll end your life and create a copy of him.
What? Were they able to betray Son Goku? Ha! Ironic, it surprises me. These people gave their life for him, and these people betrayed him. Ironic, but count me in. Apparently, this is confusing. Since his friends wouldn't betray him, we, the angels, pulled him, and we cannot allow a mortal to become the new supreme god. The post is for a divine being. I can't believe Son Goku nominated it to be a new supreme god. That's only for those with divine energy and great power, to overcome the authorities of Daishinkan.
Indeed, even you, being the only supreme apprentice, have that knowledge of the hierarchies of power. But Zeno-sama had the gall to offer it to a mortal. For that reason, we're planning to create a revolution against that useless Zeno-sama.
They're counting on me, but what does that mean for this revolution? We don't know the reason we angels are more powerful than gods, and we're their errand boys. We want to rule now.
Indeed, I'm tired of being the simple guardian of Zeno-sama. I want more. I want the rules to change, and I want to achieve it.
Finally, the angels know their value. Let me tell you, I'm in, because I want to eradicate that stupid king of the world. I also want to eradicate any mortals who think they're gods, because that's an insult to true gods.
I understand, but as long as you pretend to be Son Goku, you can't end anyone's life, since we know Goku wouldn't do that.
Of course, I understand. It'll get complicated. I hate mortals, but understand this is for the greater good. No problem.
In that case, I'm counting on you. I'll give you some more power that Beerus or even the guy Angel Whis would want me to get out of your plans. But I find that if this fails, believe me, I'll make you suffer the worst way. A chill would run through Black Goku's body, and a power would penetrate his, and in the same way his bones would be destroyed due to the power he was experiencing.
This power's amazing. It hurts, but I know this power can help me face angels. I like this plan. Since we've informed you of everything that happened, they train you for the new power. In a few days, Beerus would come to your planet, and a tournament of power will be held. Keep a low profile. I understand, I appreciate it, but you can leave me on Earth. I won't be able to feel any energy to use teleportation. Oh, of course. This planet is inhospitable. You will never feel the energy of any living being. It's impossible. Goku's body at this time was being rebuilt, leaving him surprised because it exploded dozens of times trying to get out. No, damn it! Stupid Daishinkan sealed me here. It's been 10 years. Haven't my friends noticed my disappearance? I'm sure they'll try to rescue me. They'd spent 1,000 years in the room while outside it was just a few days, and Daishinkan was modifying the room to destroy time itself, and the agony was amazing. Goku's mood completely changed. Because of the loneliness, he hadn't trained slightly, and he got into depression. Meanwhile, in a millennium, Goku's determination would return, and he would stand up with a few rays were released over the place. I always wanted to master divine state of Super Saiyan 4. I have no plans to stay here. Damn Daishinkan will be able to see my power and regret betraying me. Goku with more determination would stand accessing Super Saiyan 4. Because 1,000 years passed, he wasn't able to control his energy. And this instant, he accessed all his power. A huge explosion would be seen and his body would explode, but he would rebuild himself again. Apparently, having not trained for the last millennia, my body's not used to that power. But that could be solved by going back to train. Goku would begin his training with the intention of mastering the mortal energy again. Meanwhile, Black Goku arrived on Earth, leaving for the mountains, meditating to master his power that Daishinkan gave him. The only thing that bothers me is this stupid orange clothes, because my style's better. I recognize if I change my outfit one more time, these miserable people realize I'm not the same. Black Goku meditated. Beerus and Whis arrived on Earth, to Bulma's house where they met Vegeta. Hey Vegeta, you know where Goku is? I have great news. Is this life or death? I don't want to repeat it again.
Oh, I don't really know where he is, Mr. Beerus. He's probably training to get more powerful.
Give me a moment, Mr. Beerus. I'll have my staff find him quickly, no problem at all. Whis with his staff located Black Goku in the mountains, and with Beerus and Vegeta, a huge light would appear in front of him.
Well, if it's not Mr. Beerus, and what's happened? There's no time for that. The king of Zeno-sama wants another tournament in the coming months. Unlike the last one, the gods will participate and our universes will likely be at stake.
That sounds interesting. Count me in. Mr. Beerus, my intention is to become more powerful, and I only want to achieve that to be able to face these beings of this universe, since there's not a warrior capable of defeating me. These words were to anger Vegeta as well as Beerus.
Are you saying you're powerful than me?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I'm just affirming my power is greater than yours, and I'm sure I'd be able to defeat you.
Damn Goku for nothing. I don't know what the hell happened to you, but you're completely mistaken if you think you can beat me.
I just know that when we fight, whenever you attack me, don't trust yourself because I'll show no mercy.
In the Kingdom of Nothing, Daishinkan would begin to build a great platform in which the new tournament would take place. But his resistance was more because this time the gods of destruction would participate. This would be the last errand I do for that damn dwarf. I want to see his face when I show him that I'll be ruling everything that he built. Daishinkan continued with his work, and Beerus, upset, would pounce against Black Goku. One swift movement would manage to connect a blow to the stomach of Beerus, powerful enough to leave him vomiting blood on the ground. I warned you, Beerus. Don't underestimate me. The whole Universe 7, there's no warrior that can face me. Wow, I didn't see anything. Is this the result of his training? It's not been that long. How could he raise his power that much?
I agree with you, Mr. Vegeta. Mr. Goku's power has increased a lot, but there's no way to increase power that much if you aren't at a good level. And don't worry, Mr. Beerus will not lose from a simple blow.
A great aura would rise through Universe 7, with power being felt. This time, Beerus would expel all his power, and Whis would form a barrier in the universe, and so a battle with these warriors would not be able to destroy this planet. Beerus, without saying anything, would pounce against Black, exchanging blows through the universe. Despite this time Beerus would use all his power. He wasn't able to connect a blow to him, and Goku would instantly move away. Right now, I'll demonstrate the power beyond a god of his destruction. The power that Daishinkan can only grant me. The last thing I would think was his hair turned silver in his eyes. On this occasion, Black Goku achieved ultra-perfect instinct thanks to Daishinkan. Those present were amazed by the power, and in the Room of Time, Goku this time would manage to control the power of the Super Saiyan 4 100%, combining it with his divine energy. Goku would manage to control the power of Super Saiyan 4 again 100%, thanks to the fact that in that dimension, time passed in a different way. Goku was able to take advantage of that time in a better way. I've been able to control my energy 100%, combining it with my divine energy. I also got to control my divine energy. Goku on this occasion would see his divine transformations, moderating the control, only to have that being difficult for his Ultra Instinct. Apparently the Ultra Instinct, I've lost the perfect state. I have to be able to master it once. I'm sure I can. Nothing and no one can stop me in this training. I'm tired of being locked in this place. Goku would access Super Saiyan God state because in this state, he was the one with the highest concentration of divine energy that he possessed. Starting to train again with the intention of increasing his power back to the limit. After a few years in the time room, this power was not able to grow in a great way. And in the same way, he had managed to access the perfect Ultra Instinct, being able to access imperfect Ultra Instinct, but wasn't enough to face Daishinkan and his angels. My power is not increasing. I'm reaching a limit. I also have to start training from zero again, and the only way to get better results would be dividing my body to several essences. That's how Goku would divide his body in 4 equal parts. His power would fall, but Goku would start training each for his part. The power of each of the parts of Goku began to rise overwhelmingly, so much so that after a few months, they would achieve the original power that Goku possessed. This'll be interesting. I have to reform a single being with each of these parts. I'm sure my power will explode in a great way. Goku would begin to unite once again while he was doing it. his power began to shake everything around him, and in the same dimension seemed to collapse, something that even Goku was not able to realize that a very tiny portal was able to form in that place. This new power, Goku managed to form a small portal, implying his power was able to be compared to the power of a great priest Daishinken. Goku was reforming into a single warrior, and was able to access the state of the ultra-perfect instinct, but it was difficult for him to keep up. Wow, my power's risen! But even with this power, it's difficult for me to maintain the state of the Ultra Instinct. I gotta keep training. Outside, the battle of both warriors were very even. Whis would notice Goku's power completely unstable, unlike Beerus' power, and the battle went on, the power decreased noticeably. Wow, this is impressive. I never thought Mr. Goku would increase his powers in this great way, since he was able to defeat Mr. Beerus.
What are you saying? Kakarot's able to beat Beerus?
Indeed, Mr. Vegeta, the power of Mr. Goku surpasses Beerus. But this time, even for you to release your power, the power that was keeping you to face Mr. Beerus, you are also a Saiyan and the potential is the same for Mr. Goku. It can be you for you, Mr. Vegeta. Vegeta, without being able to respond, watched as Beerus fell, defeated on top of the sphere, while Goku had a big smile. I really wanted to end that god's life, but if I did, Daishinken would end mine, and it would ruin his plans completely. While Black Goku was in his thoughts, he would feel a great power begin to grow. That's right, he would watch as the Prince of the Saiyans clenched his fist with a smile on his face.
I'm planning to use this transformation against Beerus. Apparently, it'll have to be against you, Kakarot. It's amazing you could get this power without training of an angel. What do you think about this?
Vegeta, without holding back, would expel his power, releasing a great purple aura that would rise up all over the place, while the power of an authentic god of destruction would be present over the place. That's right, on this occasion, Vegeta's essence completely changing to that of a god being his base. Wow, apparently Vegeta's useless power has been increased in an amazing way. I'm sure I could beat him. I've been blessed with the High Priest power. It doesn't matter that Whis granted him training, it's my power that's incredible. Vegeta with a great speed would prostrate in front of Black Goku.
I hope you're ready, because this transformation brings secrets and I doubt that you'll be able to keep up with me for the first time.
Black was irritated by the arrogance and would give him a blow. Despite turning Vegeta's head, it wasn't powerful enough to send him flying. But before saying anything, an arm was disintegrated, and Black with a large energy scythe cut his arm off. But before being able to say anything, Vegeta would throw himself against him, with greatly containing the energy of destruction, since otherwise he'd be able to end the life of his opponent. And Black tried to dodge each and every one of his blows because his simple aura was capable of causing damage to his body as well as his internal system. Black would take distance, and Vegeta would prostrate on the top of the large mountain, staring at Black.
What happened? I thought you could use the power which you'd used to defeat Lord Beerus. Or are you already using that power beyond a god of destruction?
What the hell's going on? I can't believe Vegeta's power is bigger than mine, since my power was granted to me by Daishinken. Daishinken in the kingdom of Zeno-sama, because his king requested his presence, Daishinken would arrive at the kingdom bowing at Zeno-sama.
Tell me, my lord, what happened? Since I was rebuilding the platform for the Tournament of the Universes, anything happened?
Daishinken, since you were informing all the gods of destruction, I have a request. Since I initially told you about the new tournament on the planet, since they have to find an object in the universe is said to be that object with one of the warriors being the next supreme god.
Understand. He wants all the material of the platform to be relocated and form a planet with that same material to make it more resistant.
Right. If we choose any planet in the 12 universes, I'm sure it'll be destroyed by the first fist clash.
Of course does, Zeno-sama. Since it's time the gods of destruction are in it, we have to have a planet with great resistance.
I'll leave everything in your hands. I want the days to pass so that you can understand that I am right about Goku being this supreme god.
I'm also anxious to see the new tournament will develop, since apparently very interesting things are going to happen. But with your permission, I'm leaving.
Daishinken would leave for an inhospitable planet that his daughter, Vados, had shown him. He began to adapt for a great battle that would take place between the 12 universes. Returned to the battlefield, Vegeta Ultra Ego was taking advantage against Black Goku, and although Black could dodge his blows, his aura would manage to generate great damage on his body.
Ugh, damn! I never thought that useless Vegeta could give me more problems than the god of destruction himself, but I can't end his life.
Vegeta, realizing his opponent was distracted, would get a big attack in his hands, and being in front of Black Goku, connect this huge attack fully. That's right, even though Black had the Ultra Instinct, not being 100% compatible with Goku's body, he wasn't able to use the maximum power of his ability. Black would fall on the ground de-transformed, while too much blood would spread over him.
Although I defeated Kakarot, I don't feel like I won. Because of this, Beerus fought with him, and I'm sure that he spent a lot of his power.
Whis with his staff would heal Black Goku and obtain a great increase in power. Despite being upset, he would disguise this well.
Wow, Vegeta, I'm amazed at your power you could get. Apparently today you'll be the most powerful Saiyan of the 12 universes. Ha! Don't say stupid things. You know the only thing I'm interested in is protecting my family and being more powerful. I appreciate your compliment, you damn insect.
Ho ho! Both have been able to leave me surprised by the power they achieved in this short time period. But we have to leave, so train for a few weeks so we can have this new tournament. Whis with Beerus would leave the planet, Vegeta would also leave, and Black Goku upset.
Damn, I've been defeated by a mortal again. I want to end his life, but what transformation is that? Since I was the one who was hitting him, his energy alone was capable of hurting me. I have to communicate with Vados. She'll be able to give me some answers.
Black would instantly try to communicate with the Angel of Universe 6. In the time room, Goku was able to have mastered 100% of the power of the Ultra Instinct, and thanks to this, his power increased in a supernatural way. Not being satisfied with this, Goku continued with his fixed goal, which was to combine his divine state with the powerful Super Saiyan 4.
I've been able to master 100% of my energies, so I'm ready to access a new state.
Goku instantly began to concentrate, while his entire body of Super Saiyan 4 began to travel the divine energy. But this time, all his fur would turn blue, while a large Ozaru could be seen over the place. And although Goku's muscles would grow greatly, they won't explode. And after a few minutes, a great light would be possible to be seen with Goku in his new transformation, which would combine Super Saiyan 4 to the power of Super Saiyan Blue.
Wow, the power of my body is amazing! This is the one that got Super Saiyan Blue. I can't imagine the power that I get with Ultra Instinct.
Goku would concentrate. Without trying to lose his transformation, his body was heavy, due to the energy condensed in his body. Because of this, Goku would expel more power with great bursts of energy, being able to release his power, moving a little bit better.
I gotta train before I consider using this Ultra Instinct. If I combine it, I'll explode dozens of times.
Goku in his new transformation would train, and in his mind, revenge against Daishinkan. Black would manage to communicate with Vados.
What do you want, Black? You can't communicate with me. I hope what you gotta tell me is important. And this is everything that is destroyed from a mortal from one universe, not supposed to communicate with an angel. I know, but I have doubts. Tell me, what kind of transformation is that purple-haired Saiyan? Since even though Daishinkan granted me power, I've been defeated by that Saiyan Vegeta. That's impossible. The power of Daishinkan can't be defeated by a mortal. That should be the lack of compatibility with the power of a priest. Keep training, the tournament's close. Damn, I haven't solved my doubts. I'll continue with my training. That tournament, I want to end the life of Vegeta.
Communication would end, and Black would leave for Earth, with the intention of releasing more power without being discovered by the deities of Universe 7, and on the planet of the God of Destruction, Beerus had awakened.
What happened? Where am I? What happened?
As surprising as it may seem, Mr. Beerus, you were defeated by Mr. Goku, but that surprised me was that Vegeta defeated Mr. Goku, and that means Vegeta's power is greater than yours.
Damn, I never thought a Saiyan could surpass me. Whis, train me again. I'm a prodigy. I know with a few months of training I can become more powerful. It'd become handy in the new tournament that Zeno-sama is organizing.
Ho ho! It seems to me, Mr. Beerus, I'm sure the gods and warriors are training to not lose in the tournament. And Goku would try to master the Super Saiyan Blue 4, with the power skyrocketing, and Goku realizing that millions of years had passed, but thanks to the immortality Daishinkan gave him, Goku was alive, but his power increased immensely.
It's time to combine my most powerful transformation and my most powerful divine state. I'm sure that transformation I'll be able to destroy the dimension completely. I never understand why my friends didn't rescue me.
Goku in Super Saiyan Blue 4 would increase his power, making everything shudder, and the power of the Ultra Instinct enveloped his body. This power was beyond the god combined with the Super Saiyan 4, and his power increased while his bones were destroyed. But in his mind, he remembered Daishenka betraying him for no reason. And because of that, Goku could continue his transition, achieving a new state beyond the state of a high priest. Goku would manage to combine the state of Super Saiyan 4 with the power beyond Ultra Instinct, and all over his body was power that would travel over it, and his form would reflect that power he possessed. It's been complicated. I've been able to combine my most powerful transformations into one. Thousands of years have passed. I feel like I'm able to increase my power more, and I want to continue increasing it more. I long to end Daishenkin's life. I want to humiliate him. Goku in his transformation as Super Saiyan Heavenly God meditated, and this time his power was so great the dimension trembled, destroying the dimension without difficulty. He did not do it since he was not able to control all his power. I gotta control my power. If Daishenkin was able to betray me, I'm sure that Zeno-sama is behind this, and I don't forgive him for what he's done to me. I plan to end his life once and for all. On the planet of nothing, Daishenkin was beginning to make his final preparations for the new Tournament of Power, in which the gods of destruction would participate, but Daishenkin's gaze reflected evil, with a smile that'd be drawn over his face.
Haha. That useless bastard Zeno thinks that this tournament will be to check the true power of Son Goku, and that he's worthy of becoming the new Supreme God. But he's wrong, since this planet will also be the end of that dwarf.
That's right, this planet known as the Planet of Nothing had the name based on Zeno-sama, but the real name of the planet was the Prison Planet, because the entire base of the planet, as well as its cores, were sealing beings of great power. And due to the dozens of seals, even for the king at all, it'd be difficult to leave.
I'm sure that dwarf along with his guardians would have the required power to be able to leave. I doubt that he could leave on his own, since on this damn planet I plan to seal Zeno-sama, for I intend to end his life with the useless guardians.
Daishenkin once again hold a meeting with all the angels except Whis. Each of the angels would come to the prison planet.
My children, the planet on which the new Tournament of Power will be held has been completed. The planet will be the new home of the useless Zeno. As you are able to realize, this planet has three-dimensional seals.
You're amazing, Father! Since even a warrior of the highest level would not be able to do anything against these seals. And if Zeno-sama is as old as it's said, maybe he'll be able to do something with the seals.
You're wrong. I wanted daughter because you noticed that dwarf, he always leaves the lifting to us. That bastard can't do anything on his own. I'm sure he won't be able to leave this place.
That is amazing. I always thought that at the being of the King of the 12 Universes, his job would be more complex. He is a good dwarf for nothing. Since he's not able to defend himself on his own, this would be easier than expected. Certainly, Father. Before I forget, Beerus, the Universe 7, defeated Black Goku in friendly combat. But the weirdest thing was, the Saiyan named Vegeta of the same universe defeated Black, even though Black used the Ultra Instinct. For that very reason, I inform you, Father.
I'm surprised that Beerus, considered the most powerful god of the 12 gods, was defeated by Black Goku. I agree with you. It surprises me that a Saiyan named Vegeta defeated Black Goku.
You're right. It's said that the Ultra Instinct is over all the powers, and he was informing me that Vegeta managed to access the purple hair transformation. With the help of my staff, I have not been able to find anything about it. I'm not able to understand what's happening.
I agree, Vados. It's rare since the Saiyan named Vegeta achieved the power of a doctrine. Since it's only for him to be able to defeat Black Goku, I thank you for the information. I'll have to investigate it. I don't want to have any failure in this revolution we have.
The angels would retreat to their respective universes. On the other hand, Daishenkin, with great power, was able to strengthen a little of the seals, which with that planet started to laugh like a maniac over the planet of nowhere.
Ha 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 ha! Finally I'll be able to seal that damn dwarf good for nothing. We the angels are the most powerful race of the 12 universes, and we will have the beings of divine energy at our feet, because that's where they belong.
Millions of light years away, a powerful warrior with a tail similar to the state of Super Saiyan 4 was watching everything with a smile over his face.
Wow, this is amazing! I never thought that a planet we left in the confines of the entire multiverse of Xeno will become the new platform of the tournament. But the most amazing thing is that they even plan to seal Xeno on that planet. I want to see how this goes. It's making me curious.
In the Room of Time, a few centuries past, Goku would manage to master the power beyond a supreme angel, and had enough power to explode the dimension once and for all. I feel it's time to get out of this place. I'm able to destroy it. I want to meditate one more time since I'm able to have a quintillion years have been in this place and have been in the longest. Goku in his transformation of Heavenly God would meditate, destroying the room. Outside, the day of the new Tournament of Power had arrived, and Zeno-sama along with the Guardians were animated. It's time! Goku will be able to prove to Daishinkan that he's worthy of being the new Supreme God of the 12 Universes, since his ability to increase his power is even capable of surpassing all other races. Daishinkan would arrive in front of Zeno-sama bowing.
My lord, the Planet of Nothing has been completed. In about 2 hours, the gods together with our participants will be here.
I understand. Today we will show you how we rely on the power of our friends Goku. I want you to watch the whole combat. Daishinkan would smile, exclaiming the following.
Of course, my lord. The tournament is interesting, since even the successor happened to be nobody had planned. I don't plan to miss any detail of this new tournament to look for the new Supreme God.
Because of this, each universe began to go to the Planet of Nowhere with their respective warriors. All the universes were present, but Universe 7 was missing.
This is strange. I thought the Beerus, being the winner of the last tournament, would place first. Apparently he chickened out this time. Even Jiren was taking the training of a Guardian of Angels. And that power has increased incredibly. Well, I'm sure that he'd be able to defeat most of the gods of destruction. Don't say stupid things. I agree with you, Jiren's powers is amazing, but I doubt that he'll be able to beat us. So don't say something stupid. I can assure you that Hit's power increased incredibly, that he's able to eliminate you before you even blink.
Before the discussion of the gods continued, a great rumble would be felt. A rumble that would make the entire present fall on their knees, and Daishinkan felt pressure over his body.
Definitely, a power of Universe 7's amazing. I'm not able to completely assimilate it. Now they've increased greatly, they won't be able to do anything against the angels.
Father, we're sorry for the delay, but we have a few inconveniences with the participants. The last moment, we were able to solve it.
Don't worry, Whis. The important thing is the 12 universes are already present. I'll inform the rules of the tournament what they will be.
On Earth, specifically the time room, everything around him was shaking. Goku would stand. It's time to destroy this dimension. I don't know how many years it's been, or why my friends couldn't help me, but right now I'm gonna end that good-for-nothing bastard. Goku, expelling his power, would manage to create an immense portal, controlling his power, and he remembered the Room of Time was located in a sacred temple. And if he released that power, he'd be able to explode the entire Universe 7. The instant Goku left, he realized that nothing had changed. It was completely the same. He felt the energy of his friends at Bulma's, except for the participants of the tournament was being held. What's going on? I'm sure outside the time room there's been hundreds of years. I was locked in that place for billions of years. I'm sure something must have happened. Goku with great speed would arrive in a matter of seconds towards Bulma's house, leaving everyone surprised. But without Goku able to say anything, Bulma would quickly approach. Goku, how's it possible you're here? A few moments ago you were with someone else attending the new tournament with the great Zeno-sama. Tournament? I'm sorry, I think I had a blow to my head. I don't remember the reason I used teleportation to get out of this place. I can't let my friends find out about everything that happened. The last thing Goku would think would be taken out of his thoughts, since Bulma kept talking, but Goku wasn't able to understand because he was confused. Bulma, I'm sorry, but how long's it been since I arrived from training with Whis on the planet Beerus? It happened that everything turns over in my head, and I don't remember for sure if I arrived in my last training. I don't know what happened in the last tournament, but apparently they've been able to hit you on the head in your last training with Whis about 2 months ago, in which all the warriors and gods prepared for the new Tournament of Power. 2 months? Was Daishinkan really able to modify the time room? I can't believe this. I have to do something. I'm sure that in that tournament they're holding, something bad must happen. All this would pass through Goku's mind, for while the other word would disappear from the whole place, starting to move around the 12 universes with the intention of perceiving the power of some being of divine energy. But it was impossible for him, since the planet on which they were holding the tournament was furthest away from the 12 universes. Damn, I can't feel the power of my friends nor the gods. I'm sure Daishinkan's up to something. I'll have to communicate with Vegeta. He would concentrate in connecting with the Princess Saiyans.
Kakarot, the hell are you doing? You're next to me. You're communicating with me mentally. Don't make me irritate more, you insect.
Goku would be surprised to learn a warrior like him was participating. For that reason, my friends took the time to look for me. Daishaka was able to plan this meticulously, that even created a copy of me so that none of my friends could notice. But he'd be taken out of his thoughts by Vegeta's voice.
The hell you want? That reason you've communicated with me telepathically?
Vegeta, the guy next to you is not me. I was locked in the time room. My training I had with Whis, I was locked by Daishaka and other angels. They'll have to do something in that blessed tournament. Vegeta was taken back. His gaze would quickly change to one more serious as he looked at Black and he would notice. What's going on, Vegeta? Have you afraid of the fights in this tournament? Don't worry. Daishaken's been able to inform me the rules. There's nothing to fear. We have to get the Holy Key off this planet.
Damn insect, how am I going to be scared? I'm the Prince of the Saiyans. You better back off or I'll beat you again.
Heh, what, you want to try one more time? I'll be able to take you as my personal punching bag. Vegeta, in that small exchange of words, would realize that warrior he has as a companion was not Goku. Goku would have never left a battle with his own companion.
I understand, Kakarot. I believe you, but you can't do anything. The tournament's about to start. I'll increase my power to the max, so you try to perceive it, but stay in the shadows. I don't know how this tournament will develop.
Vegeta would expel the power of the Ultra Ego to the max, being perceived by Goku, and thanks to Vegeta continuing to raise his power, Goku would reach the tournament planet while eliminating his energy completely, using energy camouflage, and he would hide completely. So this is a new tournament those wretches made. I want to see what that good-for-nothing insect would do. Goku, with his anger, would observe Zeno-sama, surprised to hear his words.
Daishinken, in this tournament, Goku will demonstrate his power. The power that's worthy of being a new Supreme God. You have no excuse to refuse.
So Daishinken was able to betray me, because great Zeno-sama wanted to grant me a position in the highest hierarchy of the Divine Kingdom. I never thought Zeno-sama would be on my side. This is more complex, since he has hundreds of hostages. A smile would be drawn on Daishinken's face.
Of course, my lord. I always wanted to see the fights that the warriors would offer in this tournament of power.
A warrior would exceed a little of the power of Goku, preparing with the intention to see the tournament of power with a better angle. The tournament on the planet of nothing began. All the universes were scattered to different points. All over the planet, demonic energies inhabited. They were able to feel the presence of divine energy.
Because of this tournament, they plan to use the new Supreme God. They'll face warriors who possess demonic energy. They have to overcome each and every obstacle until they're able to find a sacred key.
All the gods together with their warriors began to make their strategy, while from the shadows a copy of Daishinken with 95% of all his original power began to create a powerful seal, especially for the guardians of Zeno-sama.
I've left 5% in my original body. It's only to announce the rules of the tournament and some concern of that dwarf. But with 95% of my power and the help of my children, I can create an undetectable and lethal seal.
Daishinken would execute the seal, and the seal not detected by Goku, since the energy emanated by all the gods as well as all the beings of the demonic energy were great, being able to completely cover a small portion of the seal that Daishinken was creating. Returning to the planet of nowhere, all the universe gods together with participants would disperse over the planet with the intention of finding the sacred key. And there were 12 universes participating and only 8 sacred keys on the planet. Because of this, the 4 universes would be completely eliminated, or more if they were defeated by the demonic energy warriors.
Wow, the gods and their participants have started the whole planet out of nothing. This will be interesting. I want to see how my friend Goku develops.
Ho ho! I agree with you, great Zeno-sama. I'm eager to see the abilities of the new Supreme God candidate. This'll be a great show. I can't imagine the look on that asshole's face when they realize the tournament that Zeno held. It'll be the day of his exile completely. I want to see the damn face of despair when I'm sealing him in my definite seal.
The warriors of the Universe 7 with their god Beerus were not moving. Vegeta had his guard up knowing that Goku who was on his team was an imposter. Hundreds of questions were going through his mind.
If Kakarot's been locked in the time room, who is this guy? Daishinken must have great power to copy Kakarot. Vegeta, Goku, and Frieza, you're the most powerful warriors of Universe 7. I don't count Broly since he can't control his power, so it could be double-edged sword by attacking us in the same way. I understand, Mr. Beerus. You think we have any plans to start looking for the keyhole? Although Daisheki didn't report what happened in the universes, they weren't able to get the key. I'm sure of all Zeno-sama would eliminate them.
That's more than sure. If in the Tournament of Power that took place some time ago, Zeno-sama eliminated every universe that lost all its warriors, this tournament must be more demanding, since the new candidate for Supreme God is sought. But while the Universe 7 were trying to discuss their next move and the other universes were looking for the keys, in the core of the planet, a powerful warrior would open his eyes. The planet had the confines of the 12 universes, and as Daisheki called into place the planet prison, because hundreds of millions of years ago, a powerful warrior had been sealed on that planet, 100 exiled completely. Due to this, even the closest planets were in other multiverses, but as they felt the real divine energy of hundreds of warriors, their internal system had slowly started to recharge.
Well, I don't know how many millions of years have passed since I was sealed on this planet, but apparently the beings of divine energy on the surface. Though their power is pathetic, I will continue to feed a little more on their energies.
That's right, a warrior named Azrael possessed the Angelic rapture technique, which allowed him to absorb the energy of his enemies. And the energy he stole was tiny. His bearers were not able to realize how his energy was gradually decreasing, changing the scenario. Universe 11 would find itself face to face with Universe 7.
Well, this is a surprise, Beerus. Something I forgot to mention to Daishenkin is that the way we can eliminate other participants to have the necessary time to look for the key with tranquility. Huh. Don't make me laugh, Belmont. You know you don't have the power to face me, and if you want to face me together with Jiren, it's a pity. I've got warriors with the same level of a god on my team, and I'll give you a chance. Leave, and I'll let you have one of the sacred keys.
Belmont, annoyed with the lack of respect, would pounce against Beerus, and with great power, Beerus stretching out one of his hands without much effort, he would stop his fist, with the destructive energy spreading through the planet. The internal system of the fallen angel began to increase better and more faster.
I don't want to waste my energies in vain, so I'll give you one more chance. Get out of my sights, and I'll act as if none of this happened. Because if you don't accept my offer, I won't give you an opportunity like this again. I don't know if I regret it, but I trained for all this time. I'm planning to use all my power. You'll get to see the new evolution I've been achieving with my training. Evolution? Don't say something stupid. I'll always be more powerful than you.
Belmouth's gaze would turn gloomy while an incredible power was released. The true power of Belmouth was released over the place, and the other participants surprised. And the power he released was madness, because his angel would give a smile. Knowing that Beerus was not able to do anything against that power, Belmont was considered the second most powerful god with Beerus above him. Both gods were gifted.
Heh, this would be interesting. Belmont has showed all his battle on the battlefield. I hope Beerus is ready.
Ho, I must confess that I am surprised by the power that Belmont has been able to achieve. But it's a pity, since Mr. Beerus, not for nothing, holds the title of the most powerful god among the 12 gods. So I'll just watch as the combat unfolds. Goku was surprised by the power of Belmont.
I definitely did the right training to master mine, even being able to make myself transform, like the Super Saiyan Angelic God. Otherwise, I'm sure I couldn't do anything.
The powerful god Camus came from the neighboring multiverse. You were watching everything while smiling.
This is indeed a big surprise. I never thought that the ideas of little Zen would be interesting. I understand my predecessor. He tells me about this planet and a fallen angel. I don't know if it's real or not, but the simple fairy tales, I don't see anything happening.
But the god Camus spoke from ignorance. In the entire core, the fallen angel would manage to get 8% of his original power. Though speaking of percentages, it was insignificant. The power he released of his 8% was madness due to the power that he had asleep.
I'm sure with 8% of my power, it's more than enough to end this garbage. I want to wait a little longer so I can be able to perceive a pitched battle taking place on the surface. I'll get my energy veins to get all this power, and in case they are present, one of the 4 stars.
That's right, above the kings of the whole, the multiverse, there were 8 stars, which their max authority of that omniverse were able to seal a fallen angel on the prison planet, and the power and soul of the 4 stars were required so that his existence would not be able to leave that place. With the divine energy that was traveling over the planet, the fallen angel had awoken from his sleep.
I have so much desire to destroy everything in my path. I want to show the power of Azrael, not capable of being held by a few simple seals, but I want to be sure that no star is present, because they are the only simple kings of multiverse. They're nothing more than worms compared to my power. On the surface, Belmont was able to get all his power, and because of this, his appearance changed, and the power he gave off was able to release hundreds of rays over the battlefield. This is the result of my Beerus training. I don't have to waste my spit giving you explanations, since on your point of view, you always think you're superior. Without a response, Belmont with great speed would pounce against Beerus, giving him blow after blow. Even though Beerus tried to do something against him, he couldn't. Belmont's power had exploded greatly, and the warriors of Universe 7 seeing this would pounce against Belmont, and Jiren would get in his way. I'll be your opponent. Since this battlefield is of two gods, I want to battle with you, Goku, as well as Belmont. I have been able to increase my power greatly. Black Goku would start walking through the middle of everyone while accessing the perfect Ultra Instinct, just like a big smile drawn on his face. As your god said, the great priest Daishinkan did not say that you could end the life of his opponent. And because I have given that thought, I'll give you a beating to be able to end your existence once and for all. Well, I didn't expect this. I thought that the battle we'd have would be a friendly one, but your temperament's changed. I hope you're ready, because if you try to end my life, I'll end yours. Black Goku, without saying anything, would exchange hundreds of blows with Jiren. But something that even Vegeta noticed was that the weak points he had in his past battle were filled, since even for Vegeta, he couldn't find an opening in Black Goku's way of fighting. This would be complicated. Apparently, a damn copy of Kakarot's been able to undergo rigorous training, and he could fill the weak points, and thanks to that, the defense and offense he achieved is incredible. While the battle of both gods, Belmont had beaten Beerus, making him fall to the ground, destroying a large part of the place. What happened to Beerus? I thought that your power would be more amazing than that. But after all, you're just another worm. You couldn't do anything against my true power, after having undergone a great training. Beerus stood up and spit out blood and would give him a smile. I gotta admit, you possess an incredible power, but you need more power and strength. You have to proclaim yourself as the most powerful god of the 12 universes? With that pathetic power, you couldn't defeat me. Belmont, annoyed, would once again lash out against Beerus. On this occasion, Beerus would hold his fist, squeezing with power, making Belmont's arm's bones destroyed. And because of this, Belmont was trying to get away from Beerus, but the grip was so powerful that his only alternative was to cut off his arm. Damn, I didn't think you could force me to cut off my limb. But me being a god, I can regenerate, so this is nothing. Belmont's arm would quickly regenerate. Belmont, seeing Beerus again, was able to take in his aura of mass destruction over his body, while even his own aura was able to take form of a god of death, which only the beings of the highest level would notice. Definitely, if we had the support of the deities of Universe 7, our revolution against the beings of the highest level would be easier. But those wretches have lived for a long time with mortals, that even their way of thinking has been affected. We could not risk it. Returning to the battlefield, Beerus began to walk in flames with his power rising, and this time Belmont would tremble, while everything around him shook. Black Goku's battle against Jiren, with Black having the advantage because his attacks were to end his life. Causing great damage to Jiren's body, Black Goku of the large energy sphere was able to cause destruction in the path of everything. But after a few minutes, the smoke dissipated and Jiren could be seen, who was in terrible condition on the verge of death, while blood was releasing from him. Damn! How could you get all that power? Jiren would fall to the ground out of combat. Zeno-sama, witnessing this, would give a smile, and because the position of Supreme God was completely for Goku.
You've been able to see if Daishinkan as my friend Goku defeated Jiren, and apparently it's not taking the slightest difficulty for him. He'll be the most powerful Supreme God.
Ho ho ho! Of course I'd be able to witness that combat, Lord. If you knew that guy is simply Black Goku, you'd be surprised. But it's not time to tell you anything. The seal I've finalized.
All this would pass through Daishinkan's mind while Goku watched everything happen with great anger, but was able to control himself. I want to end that miserable Daishinkan. I'm sure he has something prepared, so I've got to be a little more patient. Daishinkan would snap his fingers, and with the seal he had planned to seal the Guardians of Zeno-sama. Despite observing a large seal over the place, a much greater power was able to repel it.
The fallen angel had been able to stand, flapping his wings a little, releasing 8% of his power, making multiple warriors fall to their knees without being able to do anything. An extremely incredible power to be present through the place. Power of a fallen angel making hundreds of warriors fall out from the prison planet on their knees. Pressure so great Daishinken, like Zeno-sama, along with his guardians would fall humiliatingly. Goku, releasing a bit of his power, was able to resist, but the pressure released was on another level.
What the hell? This is impossible! I knew this was one of the distant planets of the multiverse. A powerful being's been sealed. And according to legends, the soul of 4 stars is needed. Beings that are on top of the entire omniverse. This is stupid.
Camus, expelling amazing power, would prostrate himself on the prison planet. A fallen angel released his power, and an appearance being drastically changed. His wings would disappear, and his whole face and body darken, revealing nothing, as the pressure was able to bend them.
I don't know who you are, or how you got here, but I won't let you interfere in this tournament. I was having a great time, and you have 2 alternatives. First you leave, or second you die. Ha ha ha! Very arrogant words for a simple governor. You don't have the power to make me, the angel Exiled, die. Not even the celestial stars ended my life, much less you.
Camus annoyed tried to pounce on him, and everyone wasn't able to move. Only deities, angels, and mortals seemed that this time it had stopped.
If they're not able to move, it means that they will never be able to do something. I can tell being able to move freely. I don't know why it is hidden with the shadow element. That one is a great power.
Goku could be surprised hearing these words.
What? How could he discover my camouflage? It's unreal. These beings of divine realm can't feel my energy. How can this guy achieve this? It's very powerful.
Daishinken, vomiting blood, couldn't stand, and his bones pulverized by the pressure.
No, damn this guy! Everything he was able to seal my pathetic guardians of Zeno-sama. This worm was able to get in the way of my plans. I'm not able to do anything. His power is greater than Zeno-sama's in this combat state.
No one was able to make a single movement. Because of this, the fallen angel would stop releasing his pressure, making everyone mobile again.
I realize you are all warriors. I'll offer you a deal. If among all of you, including the most powerful of deities, angels, gods, and mortals, you're able to give me a single blow, I'll leave these universes and never hear from me again. Do you accept, or do you wish to die?
Without any response, the warriors rushed him, and even Exiled, with confident power, would heal the wounds of everyone. In the intention of attacking with all their power, Exiled smiled with a thousandth of a second, exclaiming the following.
No matter how many ants join, they can't defeat me. Something like a dinosaur is me, and you just scraps. Have fun with whatever I please.
Exiled would dodge all of the warriors present. Camus would fly out with great power, destroying a few mountains.
Daishinken! Gods, angels, mortals, cover me! I have a plan to access my combat state. We can't allow this guy to leave. If he does, it'll be our end.
All the warriors would grant time to Zeno-sama. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't touch that powerful being. This would generate a great indignation in Daishinken and would fall to the ground humiliatingly.
What's supposed to happen to my plan? This was not what I had in mind. I was supposed to be the most powerful warrior of all existing. I had just sealed the unhappy Zeno-sama, but this dam threatens the existence of everything created.
A great light would be seen in the battlefield. Zeno-sama with his guardians would access his power, putting himself in front of the warriors.
We don't know who you are, but we're the most powerful warriors of the multiverse, and if it costs us our lives, we don't let you be able to appropriate everything we built.
Well, apparently even your appearance has changed. Your peculiar ability reminds me of the technique of the celestial stars. To be exact, Zenku's destruction star.
Zeno-sama's face would change with astonishment. Zenku was the most powerful warrior of the lineage of Zeno-sama's family. For Zeno-sama himself, it was impossible to meet such an iconic character.
What do you say? How do you know Zenku's existence?
Well, I've left you surprised knowing him. But for your information, I fought that bastard and he gave me a battle of the same skill that you used. but his was better.
It's obvious that Zenku's technique was more powerful, and among the generations that have passed, they've only tried to imitate it. I'm not interested. We'll eliminate you.
Ha! Give your best shot. When I can get all my original power, you can't even be in the same territory as me. On that occasion, my pressure will be able to finish you. Currently, your information, I only own 10% of my energy.
Attack! Don't let him get his power back!
Everyone present would rush the fallen angel. Goku, who was watching everything happen, would realize no matter how great the effort was these warriors had, it was a lost war. The whole planet contaminated by an incredible corrosion, which generated the powers of everyone present to decrease little by little. But such insignificant amounts, no warrior would notice his energy was drained. That guy was prepared even before the battle started. I'm surprised the supposed governor. I felt the energy similar to that of Zeno-sama. The way that guy addressed himself, I can imagine he's the governor of some universe. Goku continued to watch as the whole battle unfolded. The more went on, warrior after warrior fell. No matter how many there were, the power of Ezekiel was making everyone fall to his feet. That's right, Ezekiel would release more power, and reaching 12% of his power, no warrior could move a hair. Unlike before, this time, the bones of those bodies were destroyed, and too much blood was released over the place.
Kakarot, run! I don't know how many years these miserable people locked you up, but even though it's you, you've trained for thousands of years. You can't cope with that guy.
A great aura would form and fire created around him, and begin to approach the warriors who on this occasion were motionless.
You definitely can't call yourselves the most powerful warriors of the entire multiverse, because as far as I've seen, 2 warriors are in this place. They're good rulers for nothing. I remember that millions of years ago, there were real authentic rulers, as was Orochi the Omni-God Saiyan.
Camus, despite being hurt, would tremble, knowing Orochi, the most powerful Saiyan of the entire race, he was even the Saiyan from the lowest mortal level, managed to rise to the top, fighting with celestial stars.
I can't believe this guy has the warrior legends. That damn prison planet can't be the place the divine energy is capable of finding. This fault of his Zeno-sama multiverse. It's not time for you to start saying who's to blame and who's not. Don't worry. I'll send you off all to the other world.
Ezekiel would generate large sphere of energy in 4 elements in one of his hands, making them unify, throwing them without thinking twice. However, many seconds passed and a ball of energy would not explode. It seemed that it disappeared because the event Ezekiel was surprised.
Ha! I don't know what happened, but that act, I'm gonna create a sphere of destruction. I want to leave your souls, they'll never exist. So die.
Gigantic sphere of energy would begin to approach everyone. In front of that sphere of energy, Goku would appear, stretching out his hands, starting to stop it, while his white fur moved over his body.
What? How the hell is this happening? How is it possible there are 2 Gokus? Even the Goku of my universe was defeated by that guy in an instant. Mr. Beerus, there's no reason for me to keep Kakarot's secret. Daishinkan, along with the Angels and Whis, decided to exile and seal the Kakarot insect in the time room for hundreds of years.
What? How's it possible that the father was able to do such a deplorable thing? Even notice if it weren't for Goku's help, all of us would be dead right now. What happened to his pure heart? I don't recognize him. Daishinkan, despite being in terrible condition, was able to shout.
It's the fault of Zeno-sama. It's possible that the son Goku's bastard was a candidate, or an angel or god deserves a position, not a mortal. This is unforgivable, and secondly, I tried to get that boy to that damn dwarf who calls himself king. For that reason, it was nothing that served.
While Daishinkan explained everything, Goku would disappear a large sphere of energy, holding it in one of his hands, while an opposing gaze would fix the fallen angel, which would give a little smile.
And a smile of determination, not like the rest of these scumbags who call themselves warriors but are nothing but flies. Show yourself in your deadly power.
Of course, I long to fight against you. You couldn't end the life of that Daishinkan, and because of him, I spent all these years locked in the same place. But you know, Daishinkan, it wasn't bad. If we hadn't trained, we would have died. So your attempt to end my life is counterproductive for you.
Ha! You give me to understand that simple training could beat me? Don't say stupid things. Even among the elite warriors, I, as a prodigy, a mortal like you, it's impossible that you could do anything.
If you believe that you could stop both spheres of energy thrown out, or you think it was luck, don't tell me something stupid.
Even if you simply try to irritate me, it's impossible. I have sealed for millions of years, and thanks to that I can control my emotions. But priest, how about you join me? If you swear allegiance to me, I will protect you from this being, and you will be appointed supreme commander of my army.
Daishinken, don't accept! No matter how tempting it is, I'll forgive you for what you've done. But don't get involved with this outsider.
I agree to join your cause and destroy everything you order me. I want to have the power to end the beings who dare humiliate me.
Goku, before Daishinken was able to join Ezekiel, he would mobilize with the intention of ending Daishinken's life. Ezekiel, with his power, would try to stop Goku's time, and Goku's power was great, only able to do it slower. But this opening was perfect for Ezekiel, who would save Daishinken at the last second.
What's the matter with you? Do you want to end the life of my first subordinate? If it's that rude, a simple fact, I'll give you a beating.
Ezekiel approached Goku with a red aura, healing all of Daishinken's wounds. A very ancient seal would likewise be placed over his heart.
What is this stamp? I don't feel any pain. I know something's wrong. In case you've had thoughts or actions conspire against me, the seal will make your heart explode. But there's no problem that you have it. You have sworn allegiance to me. Do not worry.
Ha! Apparently your move has turned out terrible, Daishinken. You'd plan to save yourself, to leave in the future or seal it again. But this guy's more cunning than you. It's a pity it won't be necessary for me to end your life. On your own, you've been able to dig your grave.
Ha! What interesting words. But now that you're done, you are able to pick up where you left off. You long for your power to be tested.
Of course! Let's start!
Goku, with a quick movement of his hands, created a golden pressure over the place, making toxins absorbed by the powers of everyone present disappear.
Damn worm, you irritate me. Don't think that you're so smart, I'll kill you.
So you'll be able to show your true intentions.
The aura of both warriors would collide, and everything was destroyed around them. The power of both subjects was so great that the planet itself was said to be indestructible due to the regeneration being affected, because hundreds of rocks were rising all over the place. While Goku was without wasting time, he would access celestial transformation, because the enemy he had in front of him was not an ordinary enemy. But despite the fact Goku's power began to rise greatly, the subject in front of him didn't seem surprised.
You've become great decent, but it won't be enough to defeat me. Even if I currently have 15% of my power, a mortal wouldn't be able to do anything against a fallen angel like me. A being forced to the stars has sacrificed 4 of their souls to seal me.
All while this was happening, a great golden light was released over the place, making everyone recover their energy. They did not have any energies, however, trying to do something great, a great mental power would be transmitted by everyone.
If you want to leave, I have unfinished business with the gods and angels who've betrayed me, with the exception of Beerus and Whis, but I don't have time to think about that. So leave along with your warriors.
Goku, with a serious look, would return to observe Daishinken.
I'm sorry, but you don't deserve my mercy, and in the same way, you've joined this miserable bastard, so the only you together with this bastard will stay on this planet.
Ha ha ha! I'm sorry, but I won't let any of this garbage that's in this place escape. Even for an ant to leave, I have to go through my authorization.
Goku's expression would be amazed, because he would be using his mental power.
Don't be surprised. I've told you, I've existed long before the multiverse, and I bet you don't have the knowledge about the stars, since those warriors ruled these universes hundreds of millions of years ago. Thanks to my long life, I've been able to make myself with various techniques.
You surprise me, but you won't beat me, because you're telling me you have great power. People with great powers aren't used to real battles, so no.
Ezekiel, without letting Goku finish, would connect a big blow on his face, and Goku's eyesight would be able to see the movement. His body couldn't react. Because of this, Goku would fall to the planet, generating destruction, and he would also begin to rebuild.
I can't believe Goku's the power he has, but in this case, are you an imposter? I can't even believe Daisuke betrayed Goku with the angels, the one who even brought life to all the other universes.
Goku Black instantly, without wasting time, would access Ultra Instinct, trying to flee. On this occasion, he would be neutralized by Whis. We angels are not ordered to interfere in the affairs of the gods or mortals, but even if my father has interfered, I can interfere, and at this instant, I will end your existence. Goku Black would be crushed by the pressure of Whis' staff. Goku Black, despite possessing Ultra Instinct, wasn't able to move any of his fingers.
No, damn. I never thought there'd be beings capable of overwhelming my powerful existence in the 12 universes. If I had known that, I would have collaborated and given information to the gods. I don't want to die again.
A seal from Daisuke would be activated by the angels, and because of this, the angels pounced against Whis. The seal of total control will allow him to manipulate all the angels under his command.
No, damn. I never thought I'd have to use my own children. I can't let Goku Black die, because that body of that mortal is incredible. I gave him a little of my power to dominate him, and in the future, it would be my main body. I can't let him die.
All the angels would rush against Whis. However, the power of Whis was superior to the other angels. When fighting against Whis began to be more difficult for him to fight, and thanks to this small opening, Goku Black began to flee from all over the planet. A big blow would be able to make him fall to the base of the planet, while the gods would surround.
As far as I've noticed, none of the gods had the knowledge of the acts that had been done to Goku. For that reason, we gods are able to finish you once and for all. I hope you're ready.
We can't allow an imposter to usurp the true savior of the 12 universes. This would be your ending.
It's time, gods. Let's finish this copy. Since Daisuke is able to betray us, he uses our angels as we're puppets.
Goku Black, despite possessing a greater power than the gods of destruction, teamwork of the 12 gods were incomparable, and they would generate damage through his body. For his part, Ezekiel and Goku began to slowly approach, while their auras were like that of dragons colliding with each other, releasing lightnings through the battlefield.
Well, I didn't think a being like you could manage to give me a battle, but this is interesting. I'm able to realize how your aura is able to face mine. I'll show you that it'll also be a fight. The blow he gave me a few moments ago is capable of knocking me out.
All this would happen through Goku's mind. A big collision would be generated over the planet, and a big battle would start. Camus would join in with Whis' help, as the angels were starting to take advantage.
I'll fight by your side. Even though I am the ruler of another multiverse, my power has declined greatly. I still don't understand the reason.
Whis would return to see Zeno-sama, realizing in the same way his power was decreased. Something's wrong. Either the planet contains poison or a technique that is a supposed fallen angel. We have to leave this place, since Goku's not able to fight with all his power. For that reason, he's asked us to leave this place.
I definitely don't know if that guy is capable of doing anything against that warrior, but if you trust him, I'll defeat the angels and leave quickly this place.
Whis, along with the ruler Camus, moved at an incredible speed throughout the battlefield, beginning to grant them a great battle. To all the warriors, angel after angel began to fall defeated out of combat. After a few minutes, all the angels had been defeated. However, the energy of Whis and Camus was greatly decreased. I did not think the power of my father would grant him so much. They'd been able to even beat us, but we have to leave quickly. Whis, together with Camus, they watched as a large sphere of energy began to disintegrate Goku Black. From a great combined attack from the gods of destruction, they would turn Goku Black into simple atoms.
We've been able to wipe out that scum. We gotta leave, but what do we do with the other angels? Even they have agreed to eliminate Son Goku. We really take them with us?
At that moment, the priority is to get off this planet. Goku's informed us, since even the warriors of all the universes together are not able to maintain that opening in the barrier that guy created. Ezekiel, the fallen angel with the intention of no one escaping, would seal the planet. Mortals wouldn't unite their energies, trying to leave a small hole to get out. Even if they are able to leave with that hole, none of us will be able to get out, as that hole is too small. Goku's voice would resonate in the mind of Whis. If you're all prepared, I can destroy that hole with the intention that all of you will be able to escape, but it's gotta be in seconds.
I'm sure that barrier will be formed again. Of course, Mr. Goku, we're ready, whenever you are. Goku with a great roar would drive away the fallen angel, while a great claw of Ozaru would destroy the barrier of the fallen angel completely. In these few seconds, all warriors present would leave, and Vegeta would observe Goku.
Kakarot, you're number one, so I trust you. I'm sorry for always leaving everything in your hands, but don't die. I want to check out how powerful you become. I trust you.
All the warriors would disappear from the prison planet, while Daishinkan, despite having no wounds on his body, was lying on the ground.
No, damn! Am I really gonna have to serve this warrior for all eternity? I refuse. I don't know how I'll succeed. Even Goku Black's body's been turned to ashes.
Azakael would stand up, while large amounts of blood were released all over his body, and a huge explosion of fury would be depicted on his face.
I can't believe a powerful angel, had fallen to the injury of this bad mere mortal. This has to be a joke. I'll make you suffer.
Azakael with great speed would get in front of Goku with the intention of hitting him, but Goku would dodge this blow, staying a few centimeters away. You've got good speed, but I don't think you could beat me with your ability. Although you were able to read the mind, I am able to do otherwise. I really didn't release all my power, and these beings appreciate me. I didn't plan to hurt them with my power, but now everyone has left. I'll show you.
Ha ha ha! Don't say stupid things, because even though you have great power, you won't be able to manage to do something against a fallen angel. The difference is in experience is incredible.
Azakael would be able to react at a last second. A large mountain on his back would be destroyed, as Goku's blow contained a devastating power. You've got good reflexes. Now the real battle begins.
I can't believe the ability that mortal has. He's able to seal it for millions of years. Instead of falling into despair, he is able to use the time room to his advantage. This whole thing is a nightmare.
Both warriors held hands, exerting a great external power. Due to this, hundreds of rocks were destroyed around them. After a few minutes, no clear winner was seen. Both teleported, starting to exchange thousands of blows over the prison planet.
I definitely don't know what this guy should do in this time room. I don't want to die, but I also don't want to serve another guy for millions of years.
On the other hand, all the warriors who participated in the prison planet, along with their deities, would arrive on the planet of the god Beerus. Even if we are able to escape from that planet, we must come up with a plan in case Goku's not able to defeat him, which I doubt very much. He has only given us the time required to escape.
I agree with Whis. Even if that powerful warrior named Goku possesses great power, it's impossible for him to defeat a fallen angel who has forced 4 stars to sacrifice their souls to beat them. But in that case, what can we do? Since even Daishinkan was the most powerful being below Zeno-sama, was subdued by that guy. We gotta come up with a plan. I'm sure that even though we won't agree, we gotta come up to help the other angels. In the case Goku's defeated, we only have divine energy to be the last resistance. Although I hate that alternative, I understand being the most viable option. But we gotta wait until combat happens on the prison planet. Oh, I'm sure Kakarot will not die. He's the warrior who overcame death, because from what I understand, Daishinkan granted him immortality, and that his agony in the room of time will be eternal.
I definitely don't understand what happened to my father. He even said that at that time Son Goku was the perfect warrior. I don't know what instant he was thinking started to change, but apparently we can't do anything about it anymore. But for all the 12 universes, a great power was beginning to be felt, while everything around him would tremble. Even hundreds of planets were destroyed. I can't believe that's the power of Son Goku. So that's why he wanted us to leave the planet. I agree with him. We wouldn't be able to withstand this great pressure, because despite being far away, he's able to put some pressure on our bodies. The gods of destruction and participants were very surprised by the great pressure that was released by all 12 universes. For their part, returning to the battlefield, Goku would access 100% of all his power of his celestial transformation. This is all my power. I've given it a few minutes ago, and this moment, the real battle begins. If you have more power hidden, you better release it. I'll not grant you another opportunity like this.
It's time to release all the power I've been sealing in this pathetic tournament. Even I'm not able to reach 50% of my power. It'll be more than enough.
Azakael would expel all the condensed power in his body,
and because of this, a great pressure would fall on Goku's, while Ezekiel's power would reach 37% of his power, destroying everything in his path. A great light would rise over the battlefield, observing Ezekiel.
I'm able to release the power I've gained. I'm ready.
The confrontation between Goku and Ezekiel would reach a climax. Without warning, they would both have an incredible blow, but the power of only one was so much that both would shoot out in opposite directions, falling on different planets, destroying them. Goku would stand up on one of the rocks that lay on space, spitting out blood and smiling. This will be the best battle I'll have. It's the best that the other warriors leave, because despite the resistance, it's not been able to withstand a single one of our blows.
It bothers me so much that dirty mortals like you beat me, but you feel flattened, because when I completely defeat you, all your power will be mine.
Ha! That'll be only achieved if you defeat me, and I doubt that, because though you have incredible power, you don't have the energy reserves.
Are you telling me that you have a lot of energy reserves?
Don't say something stupid, you mortal. I'm not implying it, I'm affirming it. Your energy reserves are nothing compared to mine, and I'm able to release more power than you. Ezekiel, annoyed, would pounce against Goku. Both warriors would exchange millions of blows. Both had a perfect defense, but they weren't able to connect any effective blow. Because of this, the damage that would be an outrage, because they would try not to receive blows. However, in an oversight of Ezekiel, Goku would connect a slight blow, at which first glance didn't seem like much, since the blow he gave him was with the palm of his hand. The instant Goku's hand collided with his chest, a great golden light was released, as well as incredible pain coursed through Ezekiel's body, falling to the ground vomiting blood. I don't know if it was an oversight of yours, or if you just trusted yourself hitting yourself with the palm of my hand. It wasn't an ordinary palm, it was my sacred palm. Ezekiel was on the floor, unable to stand. The entire view was blurred, due to the pain running through his body.
No, damn! How could he cause so much damage in a hit? This can't be. I haven't been able to manage to do something. If this continues, there is likely a possibility I'll lose, and I can't afford that.
Ezekiel, concentrating his internal energy, would make it travel with greater force to the center of his chest, since he was the place of the impact of Goku's palm. The pain would cease a little, however, his power had greatly decreased. Your power decreased. At this moment, you're no longer a match for me. You better leave, or this place would be your grave. Ezekiel would stand, while inside his anger consumed him. Before leaving with his pride shattered, he remembered one of the fragments of the celestial stone. With only a tiny part of that stone was able to create a prison planet.
From what I understand, the celestial stone responds to the call of the mother stone. After the explosion of the planet, I need to locate the stone, but it's obvious, since it is a bright golden in color.
Apparently you're speechless. I hope you don't cause any damage to the universe. I don't want to see your stupid face again. Ezekiel's rage was more, but he would manage to locate the celestial stone flying at high speed. Goku would notice that stone, turning his back completely to Ezekiel. You don't have to turn out to be the supposed most powerful being. Although I know you don't have all the power, I'm sure you won't be able to beat me. Goku, before leaving, would notice how everything around him began to turn a golden color. As the power of his enemy increased rapidly, all the universes trembled. But their power was condensing into Ezekiel's body that was overwhelming. So much so that due to this, Goku would fall to his knees. The pressure that his enemy released was on another level. Millions of light years away, the true and authentic king of the entire omniverse, the creator of the sacred stars and heavenly stones, would realize how one of his creations was being used for evil. That guy's not worthy of carrying one of the heavenly stones. Apparently the warrior next to him is a pure heart. He will be the savior of the entire omniverse, and will end the life of my dear son. I was not able to correct his heart, and I don't want him to end with this innocent people. Even though I've erased his memory, he continues with that evil heart. In the head of an opposing being, one of the celestial stones would appear. Disappearing from the place, returning to the battlefield, a very strange stone would appear next to Goku. But without Goku doing something, that stone would be embedded in the center of his chest. and due to this, an immense power would begin to be released from Goku's body, just as a large silver Ozaru would be seen in each and every one of the universes. Ezekiel would manage to dominate the power of the stone, making that stone placed in the center of his body, but this time it was red, just like the appearance had completely changed.
I don't know how you release so much more power. No matter how much power you release, you can't compare yourself to the power of one of the sacred stones.
Ezekiel started to approach, would notice that in the warrior's chest, one of the sacred stones continued to be embedded. Because of this, his expression was that of amazement.
How did you get one of the sacred stones? I won't let you.
Ezekiel, with his max speed, would pounce against Goku, with the intention of not assimilating the power of the sacred stone. It was too late though. Goku had his pure heart assimilate the essence of the sacred stone, unlike Ezekiel, who couldn't be completely compatible with it, because his heart was evil. A great golden and celestial glow would be released around him, while the diamond-shaped stone would form in his chest. Just as his dress and appearance would completely change, Goku would open his eyes, and an opposing being was able to be seen in the universes, leaving the deities amazed.
This goes beyond my understanding. Goku's able to overcome my power. But what surprises me the most is the ability he increases his power.
I don't know how to explain it, but thanks to Mr. Goku, all of us are alive. But we have to prepare because after this great event, I'm sure everything will change.
I agree with you, Whis. And we must know what Goku's gonna do with the angels who betrayed him. Because even though they are the guardian angels, they betrayed a beast.
I even don't know how Goku can proceed. His heart's pure, but I don't know if he's able to forgive the angels, since something like that they've done to him is unforgivable.
Returning to the Great Fortress, it was possible to see Goku, the absolute god of everything existing, because this being was able to divide the entire omniverse, being able to only have an only child with a beautiful angel. But the heart of his beloved son from a very young age was corrupted.
It is time to put an end to all this. You, my dear son, I have not been able to free all the darkness that lies inside you. I cannot end your life. I was able to sacrifice 2 of my loyal guardians to the stars to seal it so you are able to reflect, but that has only increased your evil.
Throughout the castle, a great being in silver armor would stand on the side of the absolute god.
My lord has nothing to worry about, because if you ordered me to lay down my life for you and the young prince, it would be a pleasure to serve you even after my death. My other companions must have thought the same, my lord.
Wow, I've been so thoughtful I've never noticed the moment you arrived. But even though they gave me their life with the best intentions, I never wanted my loyal soldiers to perish, much less at the hands of my son. I am so sorry. The warrior in golden armor, known as the Star of Wisdom, would put his hand on the head of the king, being able to show him an apocalyptic future where the powerful god Goku was lying on the ground, verge of death, at the hands of his own son.
My lord, the young prince was corrupted by a negative energy much older than us. For that reason, he is not able to help him, and if he did not seal it, this was the future we would face.
Goku's gaze would change to a serious one.
What are you telling me? He has an energy, a being much older than me, been able to turn my son against me? My lord, excuse me, but the mission the young prince had with the celestial luminaries, his temperament changed. Being only one who survived, I thought it was trauma. But thousands of years later, he came to the same place with incredible negative energy. Lies in that I am sure that even someone has created all that power, just as you created all the heavenly ones.
Goku was very concerned.
So this is a joke. I never thought that being in this negative energy with the same antiquity as me, it was practically impossible. For millions of years, I looked for life forms and found none. Only when the same supreme energy, I believe Mayuki, but no existence more. I'm sorry, my lord, for everything I've told you, but that's what I've seen in my research. I don't know if there is a being behind all this negative energy, but I'm sure that the young prince changed since that mission.
A Star of Wisdom would leave the place, leaving Goku on his throne. Hundreds of thoughts passed through his mind, and returning to the battlefield, Goku and Ezekiel seemed to have a very equal battle. The power of the Sacred Stone began to generate great damage through Ezekiel's body, but Goku, who every second of the battle would release much more power thanks to his Sacred Stone. Goku, with a powerful blow, was able to make him fall to the base of the planet, generating a huge explosion while Goku was slowly starting to descend. "You're no match for me. I don't know how I was able to get this great power from you, but I was able to control it. Otherwise, even my body would explode from the energy." Goku would approach his enemy, who was lying on the ground defeated. Goku would stretch out his hand, beginning to detach the Celestial Stone from his body. Because of this, the color he felt was incredible, so the loud screams would be heard over the place, and after a few minutes of suffering, Goku would remove the Celestial Stone from his enemy's chest, which served as the core. "I don't know how the hell these stones are, but they're dangerous. I'll have to protect them. I'm sure a very powerful entity must have created them." Goku would stretch out one of his hands with the intention of ending Ezekiel's life. However, a great light would make everything shine around him, because one of the sacred stars would reach the battlefield, but without any words, at an incredible speed managed to hold Ezekiel in his arms, leaving the place. "Damn it! What is this light? He's able to rescue the cursed one from Ezekiel. It doesn't matter, because all the power I have, I know I could defeat him." Goku would fly at a high speed through the universes, perceiving the energy of all the warriors in Universe 7. Due to the new level of Goku, his speed exceeded that of an angel, managing to arrive a few moments towards the planet of Beerus. The instant that Goku would arrive, a great earthquake would be caused in the place, while great silver light would be rising over the planet of the god Beerus. "So you're able to get here, but what happened to Daishinken?" "I know that there's been 100 questions, but the most important one is Zeno-sama that you asked. To be honest, I don't know where he is. Since we started, Daishinken fled the place we were fighting." "This is bad. Daishinken may have serious injuries. We gotta do something." "Zeno-sama, I apologize. I'm not gonna make a single one of my fingers try to help this miserable man who tried to end me. I gotta thank him, because if not for him, I wouldn't have gotten all this power." While all the divine energy was talking among themselves, Daishinken would reach the borders of the entire universe, finding himself badly injured, while his body expelled large amounts of blood.
Damn it, I'm being humiliated by a Saiyan. I can't allow this. I don't have the required power to do something. Even if I train for millions of years, I won't be able to overcome it.
But while Daishinken continued to lie on the floor, a great light would rise up over the planet. While in the same way, a sacred stone would appear in front of Daishinken. But instead of being golden, this sacred stone would be purple, similar to the energy of the god of destruction.
You won't have the power of the so-called rulers, even beyond the power of the sacred star. Absorb that sacred stone. I assure you that you'll be able to become very powerful.
Daishinken would hold the sacred stone intently. In the kingdom of the god of absoluteness, he would get to his son to recover all his memories. Because of this, he would send one of the rooms of the kingdom with the intention that he rest.
I have to investigate my own. The energy of one of the stars has informed me that this great mission I need the power of a warrior named Son Goku.
Goku, on the other hand, would be named as the new protector of the 12 universes. He would manage to get hold of the absolute power of the luminous, pure God, ultra golden instinct. It was a normal day in the life of the inhabitants of planet Earth. People were eating in restaurants, walking with their families. There were children playing when suddenly a giant lightning bolt was seen in the sky that caused a strong movement throughout the Earth's surface. Buildings collapsed. People could not stand up. Windows exploded. All this resulted in car accidents and injuries. At the moment, a child was going to be pierced by a giant glass that fell from a building. Very close by, we see how a being that we cannot distinguish who it is flies through the skies at great speed, rescuing people who were in danger due to the strong movement. At the precise moment when the child was about to die, that being rescues him, seeing how a huge piece of glass explodes against the ground. We see how this hooded being stands up from behind, revealing that it was none other than Goku, who had been hidden for a long time because Daishinken and the angels wanted to see him dead. Goku, with a different appearance than the one we all know, after rescuing the boy, is amazed by the energy that emerges from the earth to the sky. We can see how Vegeta arrives at the place where Goku is together with the Z Warriors, who were still saving people from the disaster. Vegeta looks at Goku face to face and says, "Kakarot, insect, where have you been all this time?" At that moment, Gohan and Goten arrive and tell him,
Dad, where have you been?
"What happened to you, father?" All this happened while Piccolo, Krillin, Trunks, and Android 18 were rescuing the people affected by the movement. After having finished saving them, they arrive to where they are reunited with Goku and look at him very surprised. In a head-to-toe scan, we can see Goku's face very emaciated, with wounds and pronounced cheekbones because he had not tasted any kind of food for a long time. At that moment, we go back in time about 20 years ago. We see how Goku and his son Goten are walking together in the forest. Goku, talking to his son, says,
Hey, Goten, are you ready to fish today?
to which Goten replies,
Yes, Dad. Will you show me the fastest way to catch them?
Goku, happy for his son's enthusiasm, replies,
Of course, Goten, but this time I'm going to try something different. Watch this.
Goku dives into the water and after a short time comes out with a big jump with a huge fish moving on his hands. Goten, very surprised, says to his father,
Wow, Dad, how did you do that?
Goku, showing a very happy expression, says,
When I was little like you, Goten, I had to find my own food in order to live. You should try to give it a try.
Goten, very excited, says to his father,
I'll try.
And so Goten dives into the water to the joyful sight of his father, to which, on the first attempt, Goten fails to catch any fish. Seeing Goten's sad face, Goku encourages his son, saying,
Don't worry, Goten. It's a matter of practice and patience. The key is to be quick and not scare the fish.
So Goten dives in again, but this time it takes a long time to come out. When suddenly Goku feels a very powerful key very close to where he was. Because of this, Goku worried about his son's dives in search of him. Once in the water, he sees Goten fainted and next to him a very strange artifact. Goku, worried about the state in which he found his son, swims to rescue him. At the moment, he was about to lift his son in his arms, ready to go to the surface. The strange artifact begins to emit a very sharp sound that only Goku hears. Wu, with a face of confusion and pain, tries to lift his son, but suddenly the artifact comes off the ground and permeates his chest. Once on his chest, the artifact stops emitting that strange sound and Goku stops feeling the ki of a moment ago. Goku does not take importance to what had happened to him and worried about his son. He lifts him up to get him out of the water. Once outside, Goku puts his son on the ground to revive him, but suddenly an unknown being appeared to him. This being had a greenish coat, blue hair with black tips, and it was a very strange appearance. But it did not seem to be something real. It looked like an illusion. Goku, upon realizing this being, became alert and put his son in good protection. After that, addressing the being, he asks him,
Who are you? What do you want here?
This being, without uttering a word, rushes at high speed towards Goku, who in an act of reflex manages to dodge the first blow. But the speed of the stranger exceeds him by far. Because of that, after dodging the first blow, the unknown being lunges with a kick to the head, which Goku barely manages to block, leaving his stomach exposed, where he takes the opportunity to impact a direct punch, automatically leaving Goku out of air, and thus returns to lunge with a blow to the nape of the neck. Goku, when he was about to lose consciousness, hears a voice in the distance that says, "Apparently this is my best guest that could touch me," saying this in a sarcastic way. "I hope my colleagues are in good condition." After hearing these words, Goku faints. A few minutes after the fleeting confrontation, Goku regains consciousness and realizing that the unknown being was no longer in the place, he looks for Goten, and when he finds him, he begins to unexpectedly and repeatedly call his name to make him react. Seeing that calling him had no effect, he feels his breathing and notices that he was almost not breathing. He creates an energy sphere in his hand and places it on Goten's chest. Once Goten revives the energy from his father, he reacts and spurts water from his mouth. Goten, with a puzzled expression, asks his father what had happened, to which Goku says, "I have the same question for you. What happened?" Goten tells him that at the precise moment he was about to capture the fish, he felt attracted to the artifact,
which also tried to impregnate in his chest. At the time, Goten felt a strong source of energy that ran through every part of his body, which was very difficult to control, and felt how that strange energy weakened him until he lost consciousness and fainted. Goku had his thoughts, and that he also felt the same strange and very powerful energy running through his body, and worried about his son, asked him if he still felt that energy inside him. Goku calmly and a little puzzled told him no, that he only felt that when the artifact was trying to permeate him. While this was happening on Earth, Whis and Beerus went to the Kingdom of Everything to talk to Daishaken, since they had noticed him very tense and worried. Once they were already in the Kingdom of Everything, Daishaken appears with a very serious expression, while Whis and Beerus bow to him to show respect. Daishaken, relieved to see that Whis and Beerus were with him, tells them something very strange and dangerous is about to happen. Whis, with a puzzled expression, asks, "What is it, father? We'd noticed a certain tension in the air as we reached the realm of the whole." Beerus, yawning without realizing the seriousness of the fright, says to him, "Trouble again? What could be so dangerous to make Daishaken so worried?" "Serious? And worried, the High Priest?" To which Daishaken replies, "Yes, I'm afraid so. A powerful entity has resurfaced, once we have not faced in a long time." Whis, with a very serious expression, says to him, "An unknown entity? Could it be one of the beings we left sealed away long ago?" "It is possible, Whis. Its energies are as dark as they are disconcerting. I cannot identify the source with certainty, but its power is overwhelming." Beerus, frowning, says, "Why should I worry about it? If it's that strong, I'll go and destroy it." Daishaken, with a very serious expression, explains, "It's not that simple, Lord Beerus. This entity seems to have the ability to change even the most ancient gods. We cannot underestimate it." Whis thoughtfully asks his father, "How do you suggest we deal with this situation, father?" "We need to gather information before we act rashly. Whis, Beerus, I trust you with the task of investigating. Find out all you can about this entity and any weaknesses it may have." Beerus, smiling confidently, exclaimed, "Good, good. A little action won't hurt." Nodding, Whis replies, "We will be on our way, Daishaken, but be aware that if this entity threatens our universe, we will not hesitate to take drastic measures." "I understand, Whis. May wisdom guide your actions, and may you return with the information we need." After that conversation, Whis and Beerus depart for the hitherto unknown destination, while Daishaken watches with concern, aware of the gravity of the situation looming in the realm of everything. As they were on their way back to Earth to ask for Goku and Vegeta's help, Whis recalls that when they were on their way to the realm of everything, he sensed a very strong and dangerous key on planet Earth. Halfway through his quest in the universe, he stops and, confused, Beerus says to Whis, "What's wrong? Why are you stopping?" Whis, very serene, says to Beerus, "Oh, my dear Lord Beerus, it turns out on our way to the realm of everything, I detected a rather intriguing presence." Yawning, Beerus asks, "A mysterious entity? We didn't need to get any of what Daishaken told us." Whis, with a nervous smile, replies, "Don't worry, Mr. Beerus. This time it doesn't seem to be a direct threat. I just felt a fleeting flash of power, something that crossed our path." Beerus frowns at Whis. "And you didn't give it any importance? Isn't that what Daishaken was talking about?" "Well, the truth is, I didn't consider it an immediate threat. It was like a flash of power energy, but it disappeared as quickly as it came. It didn't seem to have any hostile intentions." Beerus, thinking about the situation, asks, "So what shall we do then? Does Daishaken want us to investigate something like this?" "Yes, but I think the best option is to go ahead with our main mission, to find out what the entity has surfaced. The fleeting presence may be a mere detail compared to what awaits us." So Whis and Beerus went on their way through the universe, looking for the entity Daishaken mentioned without giving so much importance to what happened on Earth. Back on Earth, the precise moment Goku rescued his son Goten, Goku, confused by what had happened to his son and the strange artifact that had impregnated in his chest, told Goten, "Let's go home immediately." As they flew on their way home, Goku tries to sense Vegeta's ki so he could teleport with him, as soon as he left his son with his mother Chi-Chi. At that moment, we see how Vegeta was already gathered by the Z Warriors, Krillin, Android 18, Piccolo, Tenshinhan, Chaos, Gohan, Future Trunks, and Master Roshi, who were talking about the strong and dark energy they had felt. Goku and Goten arrive home, and his mother, worried because they had taken a long time to return, runs to Goten and says, "Goten, son, are you alright?" To which Goten replies, "Don't worry, Mom, we're fine." Chi-Chi raises her head to Goku and notices that he's very serious. She lowers her gaze a little and notices the strange artifact he had on his chest. Chi-Chi asks him, "Goku, what's that you have there? Are you alright?" Goku immediately changes his expression with a fake smile reply. "Oh, don't worry. It's nothing important." Chi-Chi in a very insistent way, "Goku, don't fool me. What happened?" "This thing I have on my chest. This very strange artifact I have on my chest. Well, it's a strange artifact, but I'm fine, really. I'm going to find out what it is and we'll get on with our lives." Chi-Chi, worried about Goku, hugs him and says, "Promise me you'll come back, Goku." To which Goku, with a smile, answers her yes. While he was about to make the teleportation, Goku says goodbye, saying to Goten, "Take care of your mother. I'll be right back." He teleports. Moments before Goku arrived to meeting the Z Warriors, as they were at Bulma's house, they were talking about what they had felt a moment ago. Vegeta, with a very serious expression, asks,
Did anyone else feel that dark energy? I can't identify it, but it's disturbing.
Piccolo, frowning, replies,
Yes, I felt it. It's as if it disappeared immediately as soon as we felt it. Something's not right.
Gohan, very worried, says, "Dad, Goten are with my mother. We should look for them." At that moment, Goku appears in front of them through teleportation and says very seriously, "Guys, I felt a strange presence. Something happened with Goten, but I rescued him." Piccolo, analyzing everything that happened, notices something strange on Goku's body and asks him,
Goku, what's that artifact on your chest?
"That's what I want to find out. But before that, I need to tell you something." To everyone's expectant and uncertain gaze, he says, "The strange energy you felt came from this artifact in my chest." Vegeta frowns and asks,
How's it possible? Does that device emit that energy?
Goku, somewhat worried, nods and says, "It seems so. The moment I rescued Goten, this artifact permeated my chest, and I began to feel an incredible amount of pressure coursing through every part of my body." Piccolo, thinking about everything Goku was telling them, asks,
And how did it get in your chest?
"The artifact was underwater right next to Goten, who had fainted. As soon as I was approaching it, it emitted a very sharp sound that didn't allow me to get close to Goten. Despite that, I managed to get close, and out of nowhere, it jumped in front of my chest to stay there. After everything that had happened with Goten, I tried to take it off, but when I did it again, it came back to permeate my chest. We must find out what this artifact is and why it has such a great amount of power. I'm counting on you." Vegeta, determined, says,
Let's do it. We won't let any threat catch us off guard.
Future Trunks earnestly tells everyone, "I agree. Together, we'll figure out what's going on." Goku thanks all his friends for the support they were giving him, but at that moment he changes his joyful expression to one of seriousness, as he remembered what had happened just before he lost consciousness. Gohan, noticing the sudden change in his father's expression, asks him, "Dad, what's wrong? Is there anything else you must tell us?" Vegeta adds,
Insect, you're not hiding anything from us, are you?
Goku remembered what had happened at that moment. With an expression of concern and anguish, he tells them about the fight he had with an unknown being, which exceeds his strength by far. And he remembers that the entity mentioned that he had colleagues that he had hoped would be alright. Piccolo, with fear but serene, says to Goku,
Are you sure of what you're saying? For what you are telling us is very dangerous. If he surpasses your strength by far, in that case we wouldn't stand a chance against him. We'd be a hindrance rather than a support, Goku.
Goku, after hearing that, tells him what he felt in the confrontation. The moment the unknown being appeared, I felt the same amount and type of power and the dark ki that ran through my body as the strange artifact permeated my chest. As soon as Goku finished telling what had happened, as soon as he got out of the water, Piccolo came up with an idea. It wasn't that far-fetched, but he could explain what the strange artifact was and why he was facing the unknown being. Piccolo, observing the artifact, turns to Goku saying,
This looks familiar. It may be like a containment urn, like the ones we used at the Mafuba to seal powerful beings.
Surprised Goku, "Really, Piccolo? Do you think this could be something like that?" Krillin, looking at the artifact, "An artifact like this one, used with the Mafuba on Goku's chest? Since when did battles become so complicated?" "There's always something new with you, Saiyans." Master Roshi, somewhat excited, but at the same time serious, exclaimed,
Mafuba! I remember when we sealed King Piccolo with that. Do you think Goku has such a strong enemy inside?"
Future Trunks, analyzing what had happened, says, "It makes sense. The Mafuba urns are powerful devices to contain evil energies. Could this artifact have sealed something?
I don't care if it's from the Mafuba or anywhere else. I just want to know how to get rid of this thing once and for all. It's a possibility. The urns we use to keep very strong enemies under control, but why did it attach yourself to Goku?
I'm not sure, but what I do know is that this energy is linked to a very powerful entity.
Whatever it is, if it's linked to that artifact, we cannot underestimate it. So, what do you plan to do, Kakarot?
At that moment, the Kaio-sama of the North telepathically communicates with Goku to tell him that he had information about the powerful energy that they felt and the mysterious artifact that permeated his chest. Kaio-sama tells him to get to his planet quickly.
First, we need information. Kaio-sama has information about this artifact and the being that might be inside it. We must go to Kaio-sama so we can find out what we're dealing with.
Vegeta nods and Goku continues.
Exactly, but first, I need your help. If there are any more entities like this, the Earth could be in danger. And with this connection to the artifact, I could put them at risk. Therefore, I'll only go to Kaio-sama to get the information to get rid of this artifact.
Kakarot, don't even think that you'll do this alone. I'll go with you, insect. I can't accept that you become stronger than me.
Goku accepts and asks him to put his hand on his shoulder. Once Goku and Vegeta left, the Z Warriors sensed unknown presences on the planet, so they split into groups and flew off at high speed to go investigate. With the reevaluation that the artifact at Goku's chest might be like a containment urn, similar to those used in Mafuba, the Z Warriors faced an increasingly complex and dangerous situation. Uncertainty about what such an artifact contains and how it is connected to the mysterious dark energy fills them with worry. While Goku and Vegeta were to where Kaio-sama and the Z Warriors went to investigate the unknown presences they had detected in space, Whis and Beerus, after having traversed much of space, felt a strong amount of dark energy, so they immediately head to where it was. As they are about to reach the source of the dark energy, the pressure in the air becomes more intense as they get closer, and the unknown entity awaits their arrival.
Why do I feel like this is going to be more complicated than we thought?
Mr. Beerus, the information we gain here could be crucial to understanding the threat we face on Earth. The unknown entity, surrounded by a dark aura, reveals itself in front of Whis and Beerus. Its presence is overwhelming and a sinister laugh echoes in space. Unknown entity mockingly welcomes them, saying,
I expected your arrival. You took longer than I expected. Do not underestimate the gods. We're here to stop any threat that endangers our universe.
Before any confrontation, can you tell us who you are and what you're doing here?
Oh, that's funny. I'm known as Ryuk, disciple of the Devourer of Worlds. I have come to free the Master, the most powerful being who ever lived.
The expression on Whis' and Beerus' faces become much more serious upon hearing Raiku's name.
Raikou, a name rings a bell.
Raikou is an ancient threat, Lord Beerus. His master, he and the other disciples were sealed away a millennia ago due to his unquenchable thirst for power and destruction.
So it looks like we have a problem. This time it won't be as easy sealing him again.
The space fills with palpable tension as Ryuk, surrounded by a dark and malevolent aura, confronts Whis and Beerus. The dark energy emanating from him seems to distort the very fabric of space around him.
Problem, you say? You are correct, little god. The Master has been patiently awaiting your release, and now with my arrival, that time has finally come.
Beerus moves into combat stance with a determined expression on his face, while Whis remains composed but alert.
I have no time for games. If your master is a threat, we'll stop you here and now.
Tell us more about your master. Understanding his motivations might help us find a peaceful solution.
Ryuk chuckles mischievously, revealing his sharp fangs, then disappears in a dark flash before reappearing behind Beerus with astonishing speed.
There's nothing they can do to stop the Master's inevitable resurgence. But before that, they could entertain me.
The battle begins. Ryuk throws a swift punch towards Beerus, but the Destroyer guy nimbly dodges and responds with an energy punch that Ryuk blocks easily. Meanwhile, Whis watches carefully, waiting for the right moment to intervene. Ryuk's speed is impressive, but Beerus manages to keep up. They exchange blows and energy blasts in a combat that seems to defy the laws of space itself. Ryuk's dark energy distorts reality around him, making its impact more dangerous and intense.
Lord Beerus, Your speed is amazing, but that dark energy is problematic. I suggest you be careful with your movements.
Beerus nods as he dodges an enemy attack and counterattacks with an energy wave.
Ryuk, undeterred, vanishes and reappears in front of Whis, challenging him to enter the fight.
And you, assistant of the god, will you dare to face me?
Whis smiles serenely and disappears in a flash, only to reappear behind Ryuk. I have no intention of fighting, but if that's what you wish.
Before Whis finishes his sentence, Ryuk turns around and launches his fierce attack towards him. Whis, with his extraordinary speed, dodges each blow with grace. Space convulsed with the fury of the cosmic confrontation between Whis, Beerus, and Ryuk. Each move shattered reality itself. As Ryuk's dark energy and the god's divine blast intertwined in a demonstration of opposing forces, Ryuk, his ominous figure shrouded in a dark aura, moved with breathtaking speed. His sinister left echoed through the emptiness of space, challenging the gods who faced him.
This guy's faster than I thought.
As Beerus' words fade away, Ryuk disappears in the blink of an eye and reappears in front of him with a punch charged with dark energy. Beerus manages to block the attack, but the force of impact sends shockwaves through space. Ryuk breaks away from Beerus with a smirk, and in a flash lunges towards Whis. His movements were fluid. Whis, on the other hand, moves gracefully, dodging each blow with the grace of a cosmic dancer. This dark power is intriguing, but it is out of balance. Ryuk, frustrated by Whis' evasive ability, concentrates his dark energy in his hands and launches it as a flare. Whis responds by creating an energy barrier, but the resulting collision sends shockwaves through space, shaking nearby stars. Beerus takes advantage of Ryuk's distraction and lunges at him with a punch charged with divine energy. Ryuk blocks the blow, but the resulting force causes an explosion that creates the ephemeral supernova in the cosmos. The fight continues with unmatched speed. Ryuk demonstrates his skill in anticipating the gods' moves, while Beerus and Whis unleash their divine power to counter the darkness that threatens to engulf them. In a moment of pause, Ryuk grins mischievously and his dark aura begins to intensify. A transformation was underway. The darkness concentrates around his body, forming a sort of dark cocoon that breaks, revealing a transformed figure. Now Ryuk has evolved. His previous form pales in comparison to the manifestation of his current power. His figure has become more imposing, with twisted shadows dancing around him as if they were extensions of his own essence. Sharp fangs glow with dark radiance, and his eyes emit a malevolent light.
Ha ha ha! This is just a glimpse of my true power.
Beerus and Whis exchange a worried glance. The pressure in the air becomes even more intense. Ryuk, now in his transformation form, launches himself towards the gods with outstanding speed. Beerus tries to counterattack with a sphere of divine energy, but Ryuk dodges each projectile with ease, moving through the bursts of light with supernatural agility. Meanwhile, Whis stands in reverse, watching the fight with analytical eyes. In a quick blink, Ryuk appears in front of Beerus and unleashes a series of vicious blows. The sonic sounds of punches and echoes kicked through space as the gods and devourer of worlds, discipled, plunge into a frenzy of combat. Beerus, struggling to keep up with Ryuk's speed, takes a direct punch to the stomach that sends him drifting into space. Before he can recover, however, Ryuk lunges at him and blasts him with a barrage of blows. The situation becomes even more complicated when Ryuk, in a ruthless act, concentrates dark energy in his hand and drives it through Beerus' abdomen. The Destroyer God lets out a roar of pain as darkness spreads from the point of impact. Whis, seeing the stark reality, springs into action. His figure flashes in space as he stands in front of Ryuk, blocking his attacks.
I cannot allow you to harm my lord in this way.
Whis' divine energy collides with Ryuk's darkness in a show of cosmic power. The battle intensifies and the fate of the universe hangs in the balance as the confrontation between light and darkness reaches its climax. The confrontation between Whis and Ryuk intensified as space became the stage for their fierce cosmic battle. The clash of divine and dark energies echoed in the void of the universe, creating ripples that stretched to the far reaches of space.
You think you can stop me, Whis?
The master of divine martial arts, Whis, maintained his serene composure as he resisted the onslaught of the devourer of worlds disciple. His divine aura glowed brightly, fighting against the darkness that threatened to envelop him.
Whis, with a wave of his hand, unleashed a blast of divine energy that forced Ryuk back momentarily. However, the smile on the dark being's face revealed that he was far from giving up. Ryuk, your quest for power will only lead to destruction. Ryuk, releasing a sinister laugh, launched himself at Whis with renowned furiosity. Each exchange of blows was like a clash of titans, with the fate of the universe hanging in the balance. Meanwhile, Beerus was recovering from the wounds inflicted by Ryuk, watching the battle with critical eyes. The darkness that had pierced his abdomen was beginning to dissipate thanks to divine regeneration, but the experience had left an indelible mark.
This creature's more formidable than I imagined.
And determined not to be a mere spectator, Beerus joined the battle with renowned determination. His figure flashed with divine energy that rivaled Whis's, creating a spectacle of light and shadow in space. The three powerful beings engaged in a cosmic dance, with flashes of divine and dark energy illuminating the vastness of the universe. Ryuk, without losing his smirk, took advantage of his transformation to increase his speed and strength, challenging the gods with every move. The combat reached new levels of complexity when Whis, in a flash of cunning, unleashed a divine teleportation technique. He moved at the speed of thought, appearing and disappearing at different points in space, keeping Ryuk on the defensive.
You can't dodge me forever, Whis.
As Whis and Ryuk clashed in space, Beerus focused on channeling his divine energy. The destroyer god sank into a meditative state, concentrating on unleashing his true power. Beerus' transformation was gradual but impactful. His figure was enveloped in a golden aura, and his eyes shone with the intensity of a star. Divine power flowed through him, manifesting in a form that only the mightiest gods could attain, allowing the grievous wound left by Ryuk to be healed.
It's time to put an end to this.
The reborn Beerus lunged towards Ryuk with unparalleled speed. Each blow he delivered was imbued with overwhelming divine energy. Ryuk, though powerful, was overwhelmed by the onslaught of the destroyer god. Meanwhile, Whis continued his cosmic ballet, defying the laws of space and time with his speed and agility. Every move was calculated, every blow strategically executed. The battle reached its climax as Beerus and Whis coordinated, combining their attacks to create a symphony of divine energy that enveloped Ryuk. The pressure in the air became almost tangible, and the cosmos itself seemed to rumble with the intensity of the conflict. Do you have anything to say, Ryuk? Ryuk, gravely wounded but still defiant, let out a shrill laugh. His figure writhed as the dark energy tried to resist the overwhelming pressure of the gods.
This is not the end, gods. My master will be released, and his darkness will devour all.
Beerus, showing no mercy, unleashed a sphere of concentrated divine energy and hurled it directly at Ryuk. The resulting explosion illuminated the space, dispelling the darkness that had lingered. Silence fell over the space as the gods watched the wreckage of the battle. Ryuk lay motionless, defeated, but not destroyed. His threat had been contained, at least for now.
This is not over. We need to find out more about his master and any threat that may arise.
Whis nodded, sharing the same determination. The reality of the danger that stalked the universe became more apparent, and the gods knew they had to prepare to face even greater challenges. The cosmic explosion that marked the end of the fierce battle dissipated into the vast space, leaving Whis and Beerus floating in momentary tranquility. As they regained their composure, a flash of gold announced the arrival of Daishinkan, the High Priest, who appeared before them with a serene but worried expression.
I see you've dealt with the threat, dear Whis and Beerus.
Yes, Father. Ryuk has been contained, at least for now.
But this isn't the end, is it?
Daishinkan smiled wisely as he held in his hands a strange artifact, a glowing sphere that emanated an energy like the one they felt during the battle.
This is what I wanted to show you. It's known as the Sphere of Divine Containment, an ancient artifact capable of sealing beings of great power and darkness.
Beerus and Whis watched intently as Daishinkan explained the function of the sphere and how it was used to keep the most dangerous entities in the universe at bay.
This artifact has been kept in safekeeping for eons. It's only brought to light in extreme situations. The dark energy they felt came from one of these sealed entities, released by Ryuk's recklessness. Whis and Beerus exchanged worried glances as they assimilated the information.
Who are these sealed entities? They are beings from the distant past, fallen gods and creatures whose thirst for power make them uncontrollable. The sphere of divine containment is our safeguard against their resurgence.
So, Ryuk was one of them, and his master?
His master is the Devourer of Worlds, an even more ancient and dangerous being. His release could jeopardize existence itself.
The gravity of the situation hung heavy in the air as Daishenka continued to explain the importance of keeping the sphere of divine containment safe and sealing Ryuk again.
Now that Ryuk has been contained, it's crucial that he returns to his place of safekeeping. But we also need to get information from him. We need to know more about the Devourer of Worlds' plans and any threats that may arise.
Beerus, Whis, and Daishenkin shared a determined look. The task was not complete. There is still work to be done.
If interrogating Ryuk could give us answers, we'll do so, but we must proceed with caution.
The information we gathered will be essential to prepare for future threats. Also, we need to reinforce the security of the sphere of divine containment. Daishenkin, with a nod of his head, showed his approval of the god's decision.
Very well. Let us return to the realm of all and set preparations in motion. The safety of the universe depends on us.
The three gods, with the glowing sphere in hand, teleported to the realm of all, ready to confront the shadows of the past and ensure the stability of the universe. The spheres of divine containment, now more than ever, became the beacon of hope amidst the darkness that threatened to emerge. Meanwhile on Earth, the Z warriors, divided into groups, scattered into the sky in the direction of the unknown presences they had sensed on the planet of the northern Kaio-sama. In the air, they moved at impressive speeds, ready to face any threat that crossed their path. On Kaio-sama's planet, Goku and Vegeta appeared thanks to teleportation, scarring Kaio-sama with serious and determined expressions. Kaio-sama, who was waiting for them, welcomed them with nervous gestures.
Goku, Vegeta, I'm glad you came so quickly. The information I have is crucial.
We need to know what this artifact is and what threat it poses.
We don't have time to waste. What do you know?
Kaio-sama nodded and led the Saiyans to his small home on the planet. Once inside, they unfolded an ancient scroll that revealed information about a mystical artifact known as the Cosmic Core of Containment. He explained that this artifact was used by the ancient gods to seal entities of great evil and power, preventing them from wreaking havoc in the universe.
This artifact is so ancient that there are hardly any records of its creation. It was thought to be lost, but apparently all this time it was hidden on planet Earth.
And how is it supposed to be sealed?
Tell us at once.
Kaio-sama explained that the Cosmic Core of Containment could be opened by a being of great power, but in doing so, the seal would be transferred to the first being it encountered. If the seal was not broken immediately, it would merge with that being, granting it power, but also binding it to the duty of keeping the evil sealed.
And how the heck did it end up in Goku's chest?
That's the puzzling thing. It seems that this artifact shows Goku as its carrier.
Goku, with an expression of astonishment, began to grasp the magnitude of the situation. He was now the bearer of an artifact containing an entity of indescribable evil. So you mean I'm now responsible for keeping this evil under control?
What an honor, Kakarot! It seems you've become the guardian of evil.
But there is something else. The being sealed inside the urn is incredibly powerful. He is known as Bahamut, the Devourer of Worlds. It is an ancient entity that has consumed entire worlds.
The gravity of the situation was reflected on the faces of Goku and Vegeta. Not only did they have to face the mysterious artifact in Goku's chest, but also the dark entity sealed within. Then we have an important task. We must keep Bahamut under control and, at the same time, figure out how to free ourselves from this burden.
Yes, make no mistake, Kakarot. If this threatens Earth, I'll not hesitate to stop you.
Meanwhile on Earth, the Z warriors faced unusual pressure as they prepared for combat. Each group was ready to deal with the entities they had sensed at Bulma's house, which were minions of Bahamut, the Devourer of Worlds. The dark energy surrounding these minions was intense, and the very air seemed to vibrate with their malevolent presence. The group of Krillin, Master Roshi, and Android 18 encountered one of Bahamut's 4 minions standing on the ground.
humanoids with a black, malevolent aura. The Z Warriors prepared for the confrontation with Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi, adopting combat stances. In a chaotic dance of dark energy and flickering explosions, the confrontation between the Z Warriors and Bahamut's henchmen unfolded on the cosmic stage of Earth's defense. Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi, three warriors of varying experience and skills, faced a dark menace that threatened to plunge the planet into an abyss of destruction. The stage was permeated with a tense atmosphere as the three warriors assumed combat stances, ready to defend the Earth against Bahamut's henchmen, a being whose malevolent aura eclipsed even the intensity of the sun. "I don't know who you are, but will not allow you to harm our planet!" Krillin's words echoed in the air, charged with determination. Bahamut's henchman, a humanoid with a black, malevolent aura, advanced with ferocity, launching a dark attack. Krillin, in a display of amazing agility, dodged the attacks, moving like a gust of wind across the battlefield. Kaizen! In the blink of an eye, Krillin created his signature energy disc and launched it towards the henchman. Kaizen spun furiously, cutting through the air as it headed towards its target. However, the henchman displayed unmatched skill as he dodged the spinning attack, moving with an agility that defied comprehension. The henchman counterattacked with a series of dark, swift strikes, but Krillin was unwilling to give up. With precise and quick movements, he blocked most of the attacks, responding with quick and precise counterattacks. The combat dance between Krillin and the henchman painted a picture of speed and skill, where each movement could change the tide of the battle. Meanwhile, Master Roshi, the aged warrior with vast experience in martial arts, watched the confrontation with a knowing smile. He adopted a firm posture, waiting for his moment to intervene.
You've chosen the wrong man to fight. I've seen more battles than you can imagine.
As Bahamut's henchmen lunged towards him, Master Roshi moved with unique grace, dodging the attacks with precise movements and counterattacking with a series of energy blasts. The old man's experience and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge for the henchman, who was forced to deploy all his skills to confront the master. On the other hand, Android 18, the android warrior with formidable strength, advanced towards the henchman with determination. Her eyes glowed with an intense blue light as she unleashed her powerful android energy. Do not underestimate the strength of androids. With a quick wave of his hands, Android 18 launched a wave of energy towards the henchman. The latter, though impressed by the ferocity of the android warrior, showed no signs of recoiling. Instead, it lunged toward her with surprising speed, throwing dark blows that Android 18 dodged with cybernetic agility. The battle between Android 18 and the minion was a display of strength and speed, the bursts of energy lighting up the sky. Both fought with an intensity that could shake the foundations of the universe. Meanwhile, Android 18, a formidable warrior created by Dr. Gero, was ready to demonstrate her immense power. She charged her energy, her body radiating a red glow, and lunged towards the henchman with determination. Don't underestimate me. I'm stronger than you think. The henchman responded with a sudden surge of his dark aura, unleashing a surge of energy that pushed Android 18 back. The force of the impact created a shockwave, kicking up dust and debris in its wake. The battle was intense. Every move had a purpose and every attack resonated with the Z Warriors' determination to protect their home. Explosions of energy followed one after another, lighting up the battlefield like fireworks in the dark night of space. However, the true magnitude of the threat was yet to be fully revealed. This henchman was only one of 4 sent by Bahamut, and the fate of Earth depended on the ability of the Z Warriors to pass this first test. On the horizon, the other 3 minions awaited their turn, ready to plunge into the fray and test their bravery and skills of Earth's defenders. The intensity of the battle increased with each moment, and while Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi fought against the henchmen, other groups of Z Warriors faced similar challenges in different locations around the planet. The fate of the Earth hung in the delicate balance of the unfolding cosmic battle, and each warrior was determined to give everything for the survival of his home. While the first group of warriors were defending Earth on Kaio-sama's planet in the small house, it was permeated with a tense atmosphere and solemnity as Goku, Vegeta, and Kaio-sama were immersed in the gravity of the situation.
The ancient scroll spread out on the table revealed the secrets of an ancient artifact, and the weight now rested on Goku's shoulders.
So you mean I'm now responsible for keeping this evil under control?
The responsibility rested on Goku like a heavy mantle. The cosmic core of containment, that ancestral artifact, had chosen Goku as its carrier, and within it was Bahamut, the devourer of worlds. The gravity of the situation was reflected in the eyes of the Saiyan, who was already mentally preparing himself for a colossal task ahead.
What an honor, Kakarot. Seems you've become the guardian of evil.
The irony of Vegeta's voice did not go unnoticed. While his words might have been sarcastic, the determination in his eyes indicated that, despite any jokes, they were in this together.
But there's something else. The being inside the artifact is incredibly powerful.
The information left Goku and Vegeta silent. Bahamut, the name echoed in their minds like the distant echo of a coming storm. Consuming entire worlds was a threat they could not underestimate.
Then we have an important task. We must keep Bahamut under control and at the same time figure out how to free ourselves from this burden.
The pact was sealed. Together, Goku and Vegeta would take on the challenge of containing Bahamut and discovering a way to free themselves from the burden they now carried. The remaining question was how they would confront the dark entity that lay in Goku's chest. But before they could formulate a plan, a vibration in the air alerted them to the arrival of others.
It seems your friends are in trouble. Go help them.
Goku and Vegeta nodded in a gesture and understanding and, with serious expressions, headed for the door. With a mighty leap, they launched themselves into the sky, ready to join the battle raging on planet Earth. At the moment that Kaiosama gave the information to Goku and Vegeta, on Earth appeared another henchman of Bahamut who met with the duo of Tenshinhan. This henchman of Bahamut seemed to be an expert in dark martial arts. He moved with supernatural agility, challenging the Z warriors with swift and lethal movements.
Do not underestimate the strength of humans. Kikoho!
Tenshinhan launched his powerful Kikoho attack, creating an explosion of energy that enveloped Bahamut's henchmen.
This is no ordinary enemy. I must use my powers wisely.
Chaos unleashing his magic, creating illusions and distractions to confuse Bahamut's henchmen. The battle was unfolding on multiple levels, with the Z warriors fighting against this enemy who seemed to understand the combat arts in unexpected ways. At that moment, realizing that the power with which they were facing Bahamut's henchmen was not enough to stop him, thanks to Chaos's distraction, they took the opportunity to try to escape. But they did not count on the great speed of their rival who, realizing that they wanted to escape, caught up with them, disappearing from the place where he was and appearing in front of them. At the precise moment in which he was about to eliminate Chaos and Tenshinhan, two people appeared between them and their rival Goku and Vegeta. Goku and Vegeta, with their gazes fixed on Bahamut's henchmen, shared a silent understanding. The gravity of the situation was clear on their faces, but there was no room for doubt.
Tenshinhan! Chaos! Go and warn the others about this threat. We need time to deal with this.
We don't want them to get hurt because of us. Go! We'll take care of this.
Tenshinhan and Chaos nodded, recognizing the determination in the Saiyans' voices. Wasting no time, they sped away, leaving Goku and Vegeta facing their formidable opponent. Bahamut's henchmen, emanating overwhelming darkness, showed no signs of backing down. His eyes glowed with malice, aware of the battle ahead. The Z warriors were prepared to face any threat, and this would be no exception.
It's clear that this won't be easy.
That's what makes it exciting. Let's do it, Kakarot.
Goku and Vegeta charged at Bahamut's henchmen with impressive speed. At the moment when both warriors were fighting a battle that could change the fate of Earth, this being who presented himself as Bahamut's henchman, this dark entity with a humanoid shape but a bird's head, was going to be surprised by the abilities of the Saiyan warriors. In the middle of the combat, of all the show of strength between both warriors and this dark being, Takagami, with a confused face but confident that his strength was far superior to that of these earthly warriors, thought, "I'm amazed at the strength these earthly beings possess. I guess they deserve to know who'll kill them." Then at that moment he told them with a malevolent smile, he said, "I've been surprised by warriors. That's why they deserve to know my name. I'm Takagami,
sacred god of darkness, follower of the supreme god Bahamut. Goku, very surprised of what he's hearing, said, "More gods? This sounds very dangerous, and it's exciting."
Bug, shut up! The life of this planet's at risk, and you get excited about a being that's very powerful.
The speed of the combat accelerated as Goku and Vegeta pounced on Takagami. The energy in the air became dense, vibrating with the intensity of the impending confrontation. Takagami, with his dark aura, stood his ground, disdainfully watching the approaching Saiyans. "Do you think you have a chance against the power of darkness?" Goku and Vegeta continued their advance, wasting no time in unnecessary words. In the blink of an eye, they were in front of Takagami, unleashing a gale of blows. Takagami, with surprising agility, dodged many of the attacks, but some managed to land, demonstrating the strength of the Saiyans. Don't underestimate the power of a Saiyan!
Come on, God of Darkness. Show us what you can do.
Takagami responded to the challenge, unleashing his own fury. His speed and combat skills were amazing, deflecting the blows of Goku and Vegeta with subtle movements. The battle turned into a whirlwind of punches, kicks, and ki blasts, lighting up the sky with flashes of light and darkness.
They're just insects in front of the power of eternal darkness!
Goku in his base state and Vegeta, with their pride as the Saiyan Prince, continued to put pressure on Takagami. However, as the battle progressed, Takagami began to reveal more of his true power. His dark aura intensified, and his form subtly changed, revealing a transformation that increased his power exponentially.
This can't be good.
Goku, always excited for a challenge, added, "Vegeta, get ready! This is getting interesting." Takagami's increased power created an overwhelming pressure on the battlefield. His speed increased dramatically, and his strength eclipsed that of the Saiyans. However, Goku and Vegeta were not intimidated. With determination, they raised their own power of levels, taking the battle to new heights. The fighting continued with swift attacks and explosions shaking the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, now in more advanced forms, kept up the pace, challenging Takagami at every turn. However, despite his efforts, the sacred god of darkness proved to be a formidable adversary.
This is entertaining, but your resistance is useless. The darkness consumes everything.
Goku and Vegeta, without giving up, exchanged determined glances. "Vegeta, it's time to go further!"
Huh, of course, Kakarot.
As Chaos and Ten Shinhan rushed to warn the other Z warriors, the confrontation between Goku, Vegeta, and Takagami entered a new level of intensity. The struggle for the fate of the universe was in full swing. A cosmic battle was raging on planet Earth, where darkness and light collided in a frantic dance of energy. Goku and Vegeta, the brave Saiyans, were facing Takagami, the Falcon, sacred god of darkness. The intensity of the combat resonated in the universe, and every movement threatened to tear reality itself apart. Takagami, who had increased his power, floated in the air with an imposing presence and dark aura. His eyes glowed with malice as he watched the Saiyans, who stood firm, prepared to defend their fate of the planet. In response to their enemies' increased power, Goku and Vegeta channeled their ki to the maximum, raising their power to the Super Saiyan. "Vegeta, this guy's strong, but that only means that this fight will be even better."
Huh, of course, Kakarot. This is our time to shine.
The planet Earth vibrated with the energy released by the three contenders. The distant stars seemed to pale before the magnitude of the conflict. The clouds were dissipated by such a demonstration of power. Takagami, with his increased speed, lunged at Goku with a darkness-laden punch. Goku, using his elasticity and quickness, dodged gracefully, leaving a trail of flashes around him by the speed at which Takagami was lashing out with his nigh-speed punches. Vegeta, with a burst of ki, stepped between Goku and Takagami, blocking an attack that would have been devastating his fellow Saiyan. The shockwave from the collision sent debris in all directions.
I expected nothing less from you, sacred god of darkness.
Takagami defiantly unleashed a series of dark blasts towards Goku and Vegeta. The Saiyans responded with perfect timing, countering each attack with precise strikes and energy waves. The scene looked like a combat symphony, where every movement was choreographed with divine precision. Goku, with a twinkle in his eye, concentrated his energy on his hands. A bluish sphere of energy began to form, growing in size and luminosity. Vegeta, observing the familiar technique, smiled as he recognized the power that Goku was summoning.
colossal energy wave fired by Goku shot through the sky like lightning, hitting Takagami squarely. However, the darkness was absorbing the energy, and the Falcon emerged unscathed, laughing disdainfully.
Is that all you have, Saiyan?
While Goku was recovering from the effort of his attack, Vegeta launched himself at Takagami with supersonic speed. His fist slammed into the Dark God, creating a shockwave that shook the air. However, Takagami responded with a burst of energy that sent Vegeta backwards.
Ah! Damn, this guy's stronger than I thought.
Goku, recovering, joined the battle again. Both Saiyans, aware that they were facing a formidable enemy, decided that it was time to take the fight to the next level.
Vegeta, how about we show what we can really do?
Of course, Kakarot. Let's do it.
Goku and Vegeta began to accumulate energy around them. The atmosphere was charged with an intensity of their ki as they unleashed their advanced forms. Goku transformed into the Super Saiyan Blue, while Vegeta assumed his evolved form, the evolved Blue Super Saiyan.
Are they taking each other seriously now?
Goku and Vegeta, with their new forms, advanced towards Takagami with renewed determination. The speed and strength of the Saiyans were now incomparable. The impacts resounded like cosmic thunder, creating a symphony of destruction in the sky. The battle became even more intense. Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their movements, attacked Takagami with an impressive combination of techniques and melee attacks. The Falcon, despite its power, was overwhelmed by the ferocity of the Saiyans.
Final flash!
The bursts of energy, one blue and one golden, converged into a titanic explosion that engulfed Takagami. Light and darkness mixed in a burst of dazzling colors. However, when the explosion dissipated, Takagami emerged once more, his form slightly battered, but his determination intact.
His power is awesome, but I'm a god. The darkness cannot be defeated so easily.
Goku and Vegeta, without giving up, continued the offensive. The speed of his combat reached levels that defied comprehension. Punches and kicks were exchanged in a split second, creating a glow of cosmic collisions.
Big Bang attack!
Kaioken 20 times!
The energy exploded again, shaking the sky with its fury. However, Takagami, with his divine resistance, withstood the attacks. The battle raged across the cosmos, with the warriors disappearing and reappearing in flashes of light and shadow. In the middle of the struggle, Goku and Vegeta began to feel an overwhelming pressure. Takagami's darkness seemed to expand, defying even the limits of the most powerful Saiyans. Reality itself was twisting under the influence of dark energy.
This darkness is incredibly strong.
We can't back down now, Kakarot. We must get over this.
Both Saiyans raised their powers even more. The fight reached a new peak of intensity. The Saiyan was exploding like fireworks in the vastness of the night sky, lighting up the darkness with flashes of determination and defiance. Takagami, at the epicenter of the storm, smiled ominously.
Now you'll see the true power of eternal darkness.
The universe trembled as the battle reached its climax. The warriors were fighting for the fate of everything they knew, and the question that lingered in space was whether the light of the Saiyans could overcome the darkness of the sacred god. The planet Earth rumbled with the intensity of the cosmic battle. Goku and Vegeta, drenched in sweat, maintained their advanced forms as they prepared for Takagami's next assault. Darkness was emanating from his figure, but something seemed out of place. The Dark God's skin had a grayish hue, as if he had not yet completed the possession of its wearer. Takagami, with a guttural laugh, seemed to notice the perplexity in the Saiyans' expressions.
Surprise, Saiyans! I've not yet revealed all my power.
Goku and Vegeta exchanged puzzled looks. Something was not right, and both warriors felt it. At that moment, Takagami convulsed. A new form shook, as if he was fighting against something. An invisible force seemed to pull at him from within.
No, I haven't taken complete control yet.
Suddenly, a burst of dark energy enveloped Takagami, hiding him from view. The Saiyans were on guard, prepared for any surprise. Their energy in the air became denser, as if the cosmos itself was on the verge of transformation.
What's going on?
Before they could form any more questions, the dark energy dispersed, revealing Takagami's true form. However, what they saw took their breath away. At the moment of arriving at his true form, he let himself see the body he was possessing. This body was Yamcha's. Once the warriors saw that, Takagami completed his bird-headed humanoid form. But now the true form of the sacred god of destruction was clearly revealed. The falcon's head was clearly shown, with a defined musculature but a thin body, wearing blue Egyptian clothes with gold bracelets and a gold necklace. Huge wings which disappeared and appeared at their whim. Now Takagami had something going for him. He was playing against the Saiyan warriors. Not only should he defeat them, but they should also avoid harming Yamcha.
That's what Yamcha looks like!
Takagami's rumbling laughter filled the space. Now completely in possession of Yamcha's body, the Dark God was displaying a malevolent smile.
That's right, Saiyans. This weak body belongs to me now.
Vegeta gritted his teeth furiously.
Damn it! How dare you possess one of us? It's not just one Saiyan. Soon all of you will become Bahamut puppets.
The reality of the situation hit Goku and Vegeta, but the force of the cosmic impact, the dark entity they were facing was not only a dark god, but also had the power of possessing earthling warriors. Yamcha, now inside the sacred god of darkness, did not have any sign of consciousness. The god had taken control of his being completely.
Ha 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 ha! There's no escape. Bahamut will be released, and this universe will fall into eternal darkness.
Goku and Vegeta shared a determined look. They knew the threat was even greater now. Not only were they fighting a dark god, they were also faced the possibility of losing their friends and allies in this fight.
Vegeta, we have to find a way to free Yamcha and stop Takagami. Of course, Kakarot. But first, we have to deal with this dark god.
The battle continued, but now the situation was more desperate. Takagami, with Yamcha's body, unleashed an unstoppable fury. The Saiyans struggled not only against eternal darkness, but also against the weight of facing one of their own companions. Explosions of energy lit up the sky, but the inner struggle of Goku and Vegeta was equally intense. Every blow, every burst of ki resonated with the promise of freeing Yamcha and saving the universe from the threat of Bahamut. But Takagami wasn't going to give up so easily.
Do you think you could beat one of the World Eater's henchmen?
The dark energy intensified in the ultimate form of the sacred god of darkness. Now, the freedom to be able to use all his power launched relentless attacks. Goku and Vegeta, with their advanced forms, were fighting with all their might, but the darkness had a firm grip. The struggle dragged on. Every moment seemed like an eternity. Yamcha, although he was just a contender for Takagami, at one point during the fight showed signs of pain on his face. It was as if his very essence was fighting against the darkness that was consuming her.
Yamcha, hold on! Let's get you out of this!
But Goku's words were lost in the storm. Takagami, with a maniacal laugh, continued his assault. The Earth, witness of this cosmic conflict, trembled before the magnitude of the confrontation between light and darkness. Somewhere far away, Chaos and Ten Shinhan, after learning the other Z warriors about the threat, returned to the battlefield. Seeing the situation, Ten Shinhan's face filled with fury as Chaos clenched his fist determinedly.
Takagami, I'll make sure you pay for this!
Both warriors joined the fight, but even with their abilities, facing a dark god who possessed one of his own would not be so easy. The battle turned into a desperate struggle to face Yamcha and stop Bahamut before he was released. During the chaos, Goku and Vegeta shared a look of determination. The darkness could be powerful, but the light of the Saiyans would shine even in the darkest moments. The battle for the fate of the universe was far from over, and Earth's heroes were ready to face any challenges that stood in their way. Taking a trip to the past, one day before the strange artifact was impregnated into Goku's chest, after rescuing his son Goten, Yamcha, oblivious to the imminent danger that was coming, was exploring an ancient Egyptian pyramid during an archaeological expedition. The atmosphere was charged with mystery and the promise of amazing discoveries. Deep inside the pyramid, Yamcha stumbled upon an ancient artifact that was glowing with a dim light. It was an Egyptian bracelet decorated with intricate hieroglyphs. Fascinated by her beauty and attracted by an inexplicable force, Yamcha could not resist and placed the bracelet on his wrist. The moment the bracelet touched his skin, a strange sensation enveloped Yamcha. It was not painful or threatening, but rather captivating. An ancestral connection was established between the earthly warrior and the Egyptian artifact. What Yamcha didn't know was that this artifact contained an ancient power linked to the age of gods and legends.
As the light from the bracelet merged with Yamcha, an ancient presence awoke. It was the essence of an ancient god that was lying asleep inside the artifact. However, this being was neither malevolent nor benevolent. It was simply an ancestral force seeking to join a mortal existence, or at least that was what Yamcha felt at that moment. The god, by merging with Yamcha, granted him abilities and knowledge beyond his comprehension. Yamcha felt with a strength and connection to the story itself. The fusion, although puzzling at first, resulted in a unique symbiosis between the earthly warrior and the divine entity. Yamcha didn't know what the bracelet actually was. Returning to the battle, every moment became more challenging for Goku and Vegeta and the earthly warriors. Takagami, now completely liberated, unleashed a destructive force that tested even the most powerful Saiyans. In an effort to turn the tide of the battle, Ten Shinhan and Chaos joined the fight. Both warriors, aware of the threat possessed by Takagami, threw themselves into the fray bravely. His unique skills and determination added a new dynamic to the conflict, but even with his intervention, the darkness persisted.
Ten Shinhan, keep the pressure on. We cannot allow this darkness to take over our world.
Ten Shinhan nodded, concentrating his energy on coordinated attacks with Goku and Vegeta. Despite their combined efforts, Takagami remained a relentless adversary. As the battle reached its peak, Goku and Vegeta, exhausted but without losing their determination, shared a look of mutual understanding. They knew they needed an extra power to face Takagami at his finest. Instantly, an idea crossed their minds of the Saiyans fusion.
Vegeta, I know it's not something you prefer, but I think it's our only option.
I don't like to admit it, Kakarot, but I agree with you. If we want to stop this monster, we need all the power we can get.
Both warriors assumed the necessary postures to perform the fusion dance. The energy of Goku and Vegeta intertwined in a brilliant flash, and within seconds, an entirely new warrior emerged. Gogeta in his base form, the supremely powerful fusion of the two Saiyans.
It seems the occasion requires it. Now, Takagami, get ready. So you think a ridiculous fusion will be able to stand up to my power?
Gogeta rushed towards Takagami with amazing speed. The matchup that followed was an unmatched display of skills. Gogeta dodged Takagami's attacks with grace, fighting back with overwhelming force. However, the darkness that enveloped the Dark God proved to be a formidable challenge. During the intense battle, Ten Shinhan and Chaos continued to bravely fight, but the price of a confrontation was already becoming apparent. Takagami, taking advantage of the distraction, launched a devastating attack that left Ten Shinhan and Chaos seriously injured. Goku and Vegeta, seeing their companions in danger, felt a surge of rage. Gogeta redoubled his efforts, attacking with renewed ferocity. However, Takagami, aware of the situation, diverted his attention to Ten Shinhan and Chaos.
Feeling the despair, Saiyans? Soon this world will witness its end.
Goku and Vegeta, full of rage and determination, increased their speed. They knew they needed to do something before Takagami carried out his threats. The battle reached its climax when Gogeta launched a massive attack on Takagami, seeking to break his resistance. However, the darkness surrounding Takagami intensified, revealing a surprise resistance. It was then that Ten Shinhan and Chaos, still on the ground, exchanged a determined look. They knew that whatever they had to do to give Gogeta a chance to defeat Takagami.
Goku, Vegeta, you need time. I'll take care of holding this monster.
I'll come with you, Ten Shinhan. Together we'll be the barrier they need.
Goku and Vegeta, although reluctant to lose their friends, went at full speed to avoid what they had in mind.
Don't do it, Ten Shinhan, Chaos.
Ten Shinhan and Chaos stood up, ignoring the pain coursing through their bodies. With determination, they faced Takagami, resisting his attacks with all their might. Gogeta, seeing the situation, understood the magnitude of the sacrifice they were making.
We cannot disappoint this sacrifice. We have to win this.
While Ten Shinhan and Chaos bravely fought Takagami, Gogeta continued his assault with the intensity intact. The battle was taking place on two fronts, with the Earth Warriors sacrificing themselves to provide the necessary opening. Goku and Vegeta, as he approached, their hearts were filled with sorrow and gratitude towards Ten Shinhan and Chaos. Gogeta, with supersonic speed, approached the scene where Ten Shinhan and Chaos were bravely facing Takagami. His gaze reflected the mixture of determination and regret, knowing that the sacrifices of his teammates were the key to victory.
Hold on a little longer, guys. Let's put an end to this.
The Saiyan fusion advanced towards Takagami, who, upon seeing Gogeta's arrival, stopped attacking Tenshinhan and Chaos to confront the fused warrior. The intensity of the battle reached a new level, with attacks and counterattacks echoing across the battlefield. Tenshinhan, with his remaining strength, took advantage of that distraction to hold Takagami with all his strength, preventing him from moving freely. His face showed determination and resignation at the same time.
Chaos, this is your chance. Make every second I hold this monster worth it.
Chaos, next to Tenshinhan, nodded weakly. His body showed the ravages of the battle, but his eyes were shining with all the will to do the duty.
Tenshinhan is right, Gogeta. The light will always prevail over the darkness. Remember that. Goku, Vegeta, take care of our world. This is our last act.
At that moment, Chaos accumulated an immense amount of energy to sacrifice himself. Gogeta, who was very close, were hit by the shock wave of the explosion. Gogeta, recovering from the impact, looked at the place where his companions were with solemnly.
Your sacrifice will not be in vain. I promise.
After what happened, Gogeta raised his head and with an uncontrollable anger increased his ki in such a way that he made the battlefield rumble, making the stones that were in the place fly, making Takagami retreat only with the gusts of air that expanded from his being. In a panning from head to toe, we managed to see Gogeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Phase 4, which showed the essence of Ozaru as a kind of aura in blue color, and a more controlled but much more powerful version, a transformation never seen, since they were not able to coordinate their powers to be able to reach said transformation. As Gogeta's energy transformed into a surprising and controlled version of Super Saiyan Blue Stage 4, a brilliant blue essence of Ozaru manifested around him, revealing unparalleled potency. The cosmic landscape trembled before the magnitude of this new form. Goku and Vegeta, witness of this unique transformation, were filled with amazement and determination. It was evident that Gogeta was reaching a level of power never seen before, fusing the essence of Super Saiyan Blue with Ozaru's formidable presence flawlessly. Gogeta, in his new form, turned an intense gaze towards Takagami, whose expression of confidence was overshadowed by surprise. The battle, far from having come to an end, was just beginning in this new phase. The universe was waiting for the outcome of this epic confrontation, where light and darkness collided in a cosmic dance. The promise of a new dawn loomed on the horizon, but the price of triumph was uncertain. Gogeta floated in the sky, surrounded by the imposing energy of his new form. The stars seemed to pale before the intensity of his blue radiance, as Takagami recovered from the initial impact and adopted a defensive posture.
What kind of transformation is this? This is the power of those who fight for something greater than themselves.
With a flash, Gogeta disappeared, appearing in front of Takagami in the blink of an eye. The clash of their fists created shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Gogeta's speed and strength were unmatched, surpassing even Takagami's ability to anticipate his blows. Gogeta and Takagami exchanged blows and energy blasts at breakneck speed. Each impact resounded like cosmic thunder, creating an epic symphony on planet Earth.
Your attempt to revive your so-called gods ends here, Takagami. But you're a bug in the face of the greatness of my power.
In an instant, Gogeta unleashed a burst of concentrated energy, enveloping Takagami in a whirlwind of light and force. When the light dissipated, Takagami emerged unharmed, but with a more serious expression.
Interesting, but not enough.
The battle was reaching cosmic levels, with ripples of energy spreading across the far reaches of the universe. Meanwhile, the other Z warriors watched the sky, appreciating Gogeta's great power of display and Takagami's resilience and viciousness. The roar of battle echoed in every corner of the universe. Gogeta and Takagami, wrapped in an endless dance of energy, continued their titanic confrontation. Space twisted and trembled under the influence of their powers, creating distortions itself. Bursts of energy expanded like lightning, illuminating the darkness of the night sky with dazzling flashes. Each blow between the two contenders seemed to release an explosion of energy that spread in concentric waves, setting the frantic pace of the cosmic battle. Away from the battlefield, the others watched in anguish and admiration. Bulma, with a mixture of fear and hope in her eyes, clung to the hope that Gogeta would prevail.
Come on, Gogeta, you must win! For all of us!
Meanwhile, on the battlefield, Gogeta and Takagami continued their fierce exchange. Determination burned in Gogeta's eyes, while Takagami maintained a defiant smile. though, his expression hid a growing unease.
This is for the price you pay for defying the peace of the universe.
With a swift movement, Gogeta vanished and reappeared behind Takagami, launching an energy-charged punch straight at his back. But Takagami, anticipating, quickly spun around and blocked the attack with the dark energy shield.
Haha, is that all you got?
In response, Gogeta intensified his assault, unleashing a continuous flurry of punches and kicks. Each impact resounded like thunder. But Takagami, though outmatched in speed, resisted with his dark power, countering the attacks with deft movements. During the scuttle, Takagami took advantage of the prevalent moment of openness and opened up a launched energy bolt straight for Gogeta's chest. The resulting explosion shook the universe and Gogeta was thrown backwards, leaving a trail of blue energy.
Is that all hope can do?
Gogeta recovered quickly, stood up with determination. The glow of his transformation increased even more.
This is far from over.
The battle continued, leading them again to display an ever-increasing amount of power. In this fury, Gogeta unleashed power that defied the laws of the universe, and Takagami, despite his arrogance, began to show signs of concern. The tension was palpable. The Z-Warriors felt the intensity of the confrontation, even when they were a long distance away from where the battle for the future of the planet was taking place. Piccolo was seriously watching, calculating every move and thinking at some point this battle, which was far from over, would be a favorable outcome. Piccolo, in his thoughts,
Goku, Vegeta, we trust you. You must win this battle.
The battle reached a new climax when Gogeta and Takagami met at an eminent point in the battle. The energy emanated from them, illuminating the vastness of the dark sky, creating a dazzling spectacle of colors and flashes.
You cannot escape darkness. Darkness will never prevail over light.
You're a fool if you think your light can eclipse my power.
Suddenly, a voice echoed in Gogeta's mind, a familiar but distant voice.
Gogeta, do not underestimate your enemy. Truth lies within strength.
The transmission abruptly cut off, leaving Gogeta bewildered. Before he could reflect on it, however, Takagami lunged towards him with surprising speed, unleashing a series of punches and kicks that left Gogeta struggling to keep up. At that moment, a fleeting image flashed through Gogeta's mind, a vision of his loved ones, of his purpose, and the responsibility he carried on his shoulders. The energy of the transformation fanned, and Gogeta, with newfound determination, struck back with renewed ferocity.
This is the limit of your tyranny, Takagami.
The limit's up to you, Gogeta, and your limit is my power.
Suddenly, the sky around him fragmented, and multiple distorted versions of Takagami emerged from the dimensional rifts, each with a malevolent grin.
You cannot defeat me, Gogeta. I am eternal. I'm a god.
You may be powerful, but I'm not alone in this.
The battle reached a new intensity as multiple distorted incarnations of Takagami surrounded Gogeta. Each emanated a dark energy that defied the laws of the universe. The air itself seemed to vibrate with the pressure of their combined presences. At that precise moment, Goku and Vegeta's fusion had come to an end due to the amount of power they had used in order to stand up to Takagami. Goku and Vegeta, although they had returned to their individual forms after the fusion, knew that the key by defeating Takagami lay in perfect unity and coordination.
Vegeta, we're in this together. Let's give all our power to be able to confront him so we can free Yamcha from this so-called god.
Yes, Kakarot, this insect will not defeat us.
The Z-Warriors watched in amazement, aware that the fate of the universe hung in the balance. Piccolo analyzed this situation, looking for any weaknesses that could be exploited. The others prepared to act if the opportunity presented itself. Goku and Vegeta, now separated, their fusion as Gogeta, faced Takagami with determination in their eyes. The dark presence of the supposed god loomed over them, but the Saiyans were determined to free Yamcha and put an end to the threat he posed.
Vegeta, we need to coordinate our attacks. We've always been stronger when we fight together.
For once, I agree with you, Kakarot. This insect will pay for what he did.
The two Saiyans lunged towards Takagami, attacking with a combination of punches and ki blasts. Takagami, though powerful, was momentarily overwhelmed by the timing of the two warriors. However, his sinister laugh echoed across the battlefield.
Your union will change nothing. My power is unlimited.
Goku and Vegeta exchanged glances, realizing that the situation was more serious than they had imagined. Takagami unleashed a wave of dark energy that sent them flying, but they quickly recovered, ready to continue the fight. The Z Warriors watched with concern. Gohan, though a bit intimidated by Takagami's power, maintained his unwavering determination. Piccolo, with his keen intelligence, pointed out a possible weakness.
It seems his power is linked to some source. We must find a way to break that connection.
Goten and Trunks, who had arrived along with Gohan, eager to join the battle, looked at their parents with concern. However, Piccolo stopped them.
Guys, we need a plan before we launch into battle. Your strength will be crucial at the right time.
While the Z Warriors thought of a plan, Goku and Vegeta continued their fierce assault against Takagami. Every time it seemed they were about to defeat him, his power increased and the evil emanating from him intensified.
Ha 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 ha! Your resistance is useless. My power thrives on despair and suffering.
Then we must find a way to change that. Vegeta, we need to attack together, but with a strategy.
You're finally thinking clearly, Kakarot. Let's do it!
The two Saiyans, coordinating their movements, executed a series of synchronized attacks. Although Takagami was defending himself skillfully, he began to show signs of discomfort. The connection between his power and the external source seemed to be faltering. At that instant, Piccolo noticed the opportunity.
Now is the time. Gohan, wait for the opening we'll give you so you can attack. Goten, Trunks, follow me on my signal.
Gohan nodded, conveying a look of confidence to his friends. Goten and Trunks prepared to act on Piccolo's directions.
Everyone, let's send our energies to Goku and Vegeta. We must strengthen their connection and weaken Takagami's source of power.
The Z Warriors gathered their energies and, with a coordinated effort, sent a stream of ki skyward. Goku and Vegeta, sensing the surge of power, seized the opportunity.
They're doing it! Come on, Vegeta!
The connection between Goku, Vegeta, and the Z Warriors created a unique synergy. Energy flowed through them, strengthening their resolve and weakening Takagami's external source of power.
This can't be happening!
The darkness surrounding Takagami began to dissipate, due to the large amount of energy they were receiving from their friends. Piccolo, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, observing the battle, noticed the opportunity to intervene.
Now, guys, let's go!
Goten and Trunks took flight into the sky where Goku and Vegeta were, joining the fight against Takagami. With the energy of the Z Warriors strengthening the connection between Goku and Vegeta, the real battle was about to begin. The fusion of powers of the Saiyans between father and son created an explosion of energy that enveloped Takagami. The fight intensified, but now, with hope and determination as their allies, Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks were ready to face the Dark God and free the universe from his evil domain. The burst of energy that enveloped Takagami reverberated throughout the universe. The fusion of the powers of Goku, Vegeta, and his sons created a symphony of forces, illuminating the sky with a brilliant radiance that defied the darkness Takagami had tried to impose. Takagami, enveloped in the luminescence of the combined energy, struggled to maintain his composure. The connection between his power and the source of his power, Yamcha, was weakening with every second, and his sinister laugh began to turn into growls of frustration.
We're making progress, Vegeta!
Yes, but let's not let our guard down. It's not over.
As the Saiyans continued their coordinated offensive, Goten and Trunks and their Super Saiyan forms joined the battle. The pressure on Takagami intensified, as he now faced not only the two adult Saiyans, but also that of his sons. The coordination between them was impressive, and every move was backed by the combined strength of the Z Warriors.
Dad! Vegeta! We're here to help! Let's show this guy that the Saiyan family is unstoppable!
The trio of Saiyans, with their different levels of expertise and abilities, formed a united front against Takagami. The battle was getting more and more intense, with bursts of energy and flurries of attacks lighting up space like a celestial spectacle. Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, and the others channeled their energies to strengthen the connection between the Saiyans and, at the same time, searched for weaknesses in Takagami's defense.
We must keep the pressure on and look for any opportunity to unbalance Takagami.
Dad, Vegeta, Goten, Trunks, we all trust you! Let's defeat this enemy together!
In space, the synergy between the Saiyans reached its peak. Goku and Vegeta, with the energy of their sons and the Z Warriors, fused their attacks in an amazing display of power. Takagami, despite his resistance, began to give ground.
This is not possible! I'm a god! I cannot be defeated!
The connection between his power and the external source was on the verge of collapse. The Saiyans, sensing Takagami's weakness, redoubled their efforts. Goten, Trunks, guided by Piccolo's strategy, attacked from unexpected angles, while Goku and Vegeta continued their frontal assault. Piccolo noticed a key opportunity.
Now, Gohan, it's your time!
Gohan, in his final form ready to take advantage of the opportunity, concentrated his energy and launched himself into the confrontation. With surprising speed, he joined the fight alongside Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks. "Let's finish this, Dad!" The symphony of energy between the Z Warriors and the Saiyans reached its climax. Takagami, beset on all sides, struggled to stand. The skies erupted in an explosion of light and darkness as the heroes joined forces to confront the Dark God. The battle reached its climax, and every move decided the fate of the universe. The Z Warriors from Earth watched with eagerness and hope, knowing that victory was within reach, but also aware that the final fight was yet to come. With the Saiyans and the Z Warriors facing Takagami in a cosmic confrontation. However, amidst the chaos of battle, a small distraction allowed Takagami to strike back with furiosity. Goten and Trunks, focused on following Piccolo's strategy, attacked from different angles. However, in a moment of minimal distraction, Takagami seized the opportunity and launched a surprise counterattack. With quick and precise movements, the Dark God managed to evade Goten and Trunks' attacks, countering them with punches and energy blasts.
Ha ha ha! Your efforts are useless, children! I'm the all-consuming darkness!
Goten and Trunks, though agile and powerful, found themselves in a precarious situation. Takagami, with his speed and cunning, left the young Saiyans struggling to keep up. "We have to protect them!"
Takagami's concentration of power is increasing. We need to regroup and find a strategy to counter his moves.
Meanwhile, in the sky, Goten and Trunks, despite the setbacks, continued to fight bravely. They tried to coordinate their attacks, but Takagami's speed and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge. "Trunks, we have to stay focused!" "I know, but this guy's stronger than I imagined!" In an unexpected twist, Takagami launched a blast of dark energy that hit Goten and Trunks, leaving them badly injured. Both Saiyans fell backwards with obvious signs of exhaustion and pain. "Goten! Trunks!"
This damned Dark God!
The adult Saiyans intensified their assault, determined to avenge their momentary fall of their sons. Takagami, however, taking advantage of the confusion and despair that gripped the Z Warriors, rejoiced in his newly strengthened power.
This is how the heroes of the universe give up. They may fight, but in the end, darkness will always prevail.
The result was becoming even more tense. The Z Warriors, though determined, were facing the reality that their fight was far from over. Goten and Trunks, wounded but not defeated, were struggling to recover and rejoin the battle.
We need a new approach. Takagami's strength increases with each passing moment.
"We'll protect Goten and Trunks. We'll not let the darkness prevail." The battle, now more critical than ever, was plunging into a desperate confrontation where the survival of the universe hung in the balance. Gohan, observing the critical situation of his brother Goten and Trunks, could not contain the fury that burned within him. A flash of anger crossed his eyes, and his energy rose to levels that would leave even the most experienced Saiyans dumbfounded. He lunged towards Takagami with shocking speed, ignoring any concern for his own safety. "With this price, you'll pay for hurting my family!" His speed and furiosity impressed everyone on the battlefield. Every blow he delivered carried with it a pent-up rage of a protective brother. Takagami, though initially surprised, adapted to the intensity of Gohan's attacks.
Do you think your anger can stop me?
"I'm going to protect my family and the entire universe from your darkness!" The battle between Gohan and Takagami unleashed an energy storm in space. Goku and Vegeta watched in awe and fear as the conflict reached levels that defied comprehension. Despite their determination, they realized they were facing a power beyond anything they had faced before. "This kid, his power is amazing!"
We can't let Gohan fight alone. We must support him.
As Gohan continued his relentless assault, Takagami showed a significant improvement in his defensive ability. Every blow was met with inhuman prowess. the battle reached a point where the universe itself seemed to be on the verge of collapse. The epic confrontation between Gohan and Takagami pushed the Saiyan warrior to the limit of his abilities. Despite Gohan's bravery and skill, the Dark God, with unmatched cunning and speed, found an opening in his defense. With a graceful twist, Takagami unleashed a ripping attack, a blast of dark energy that sliced through the air with a malevolent precision. Gohan, surprised by the speed and ferocity of the attack, barely had time to react. The energy wave hit Gohan full on, enveloping him in an explosion of light and darkness. The force of the impact threw Goku's eldest son backwards, causing him to stagger, desperately struggling to stay on his feet. The dark energy left its mark on Gohan's body, marking him with deep, tearing wounds.
Ah! This can't be so strong!
Takagami, with a sinister smile, hovered in the air, observing the result of his devastating attack. The black energy around him seemed to vibrate with satisfaction as Gohan tried to recover.
This is the power you praise so much? You're no match for me, Gohan.
Goku and Vegeta, witnessing the scene from a distance, gritted their teeth helplessly. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment. Goten and Trunks, still injured but recovering, were prepared to rejoin the fight.
Gohan! This damned! We can't let this continue!
Goten and Trunks, sensing the urgency of the situation, approached Gohan to help him. Despite his own injuries, determination shone in his eyes.
Brother, are you alright?
Yes, but we need a new approach.
We're not going to let this guy get away with this!
Meanwhile, Piccolo and the other Z Warriors were also assessing the situation, looking for any opportunity to change the course of the battle. The pressure on them was mounting, and the need to find an effective strategy was becoming more apparent.
We have to work together. Gohan, can you keep fighting?
Gohan nodded, ignoring the pain coursing through his body. His determination had not dulled, on the contrary. Takagami's imminent threat stoked it.
I can't give up, but we need a strategy. Something that could surprise him.
Surprise him, you say?
As the Z Warriors immersed themselves in strategy to counter Takagami, a small distraction took over the battlefield. Goten and Trunks, aware of the need of a different approach, exchanged determined glances. Without saying a word, they assumed the familiar fusion dance stance. The other warriors, immersed in their tactics, barely noticed the sudden disappearance of Goten and Trunks as they performed the fusion. The energy around them condensed into a brilliant flash that revealed Gotenks, Super Saiyan, the powerful fusion of the two young Saiyans.
Ready to give this guy a surprise!
With impressive speed, Gotenks launched himself towards Takagami, who was momentarily startled by the new presence on the battlefield. Gotenks, with his characteristic air of self-sufficiency, began to unleash a series of swift and agile attacks, challenging the Dark God with renewed energy.
Here I come!
Takagami, however, far from being intimidated, smiled sinisterly. With a casual gesture, he deflected Gotenks' attacks as if toying with him.
Is that all you've got, you little fused insect?
Gotenks persisted, intensifying his attacks, trying to find an opening in Takagami's defense. However, the Dark God, with a graceful move, countered each blow with ease.
Come on! It can't be!
In the moment of distraction, Takagami took advantage of the situation. With impressive speed, he launched a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gotenks before he could react. The resulting explosion threw Gotenks backwards, knocking him to the ground unconscious and disfigured.
Gotenks!
This is worse than we thought.
Takagami, now more confident of his superiority, hovered in the air, glaring at the defeated warriors. Goten and Trunks, still unconscious, lay on the ground as Takagami revealed in his moment of victory.
Ha 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 ha! Is this all you offer, Z Warriors? Your desperation only increases my power.
With the outlook darkened by Gotenks' momentary defeat, attention turned to Gohan, who, badly wounded but driven by an inner strength, began to radiate intense energy. The pain in his body seemed to fuel his determination, and a wild golden glow enveloped as his ki reached never-before-seen levels. In the blink of an eye, Gohan transformed into Super Saiyan Phase 3, a form of awesome power that surprised even Takagami. Gohan's hair grew out of control, his muscles swelled, and his expression reflected a mixture of pain and fierce determination.
What is this? A new trick?
Gohan, with a wild roar, launched himself towards Takagami with shocking speed. The force of his blows and the intensity of his attacks shook the battlefield, creating a storm of energy around him. The conflict between light and darkness took on a new dimension as Gohan challenged the limits of his own power.
You're going to pay for what you've done!